To the podcast. We had a number of technical difficulties, but by all appearances, it's been fixed. At least I hope so. Welcome to the Geekus Theoreticus podcast. This is our third episode, and we have a number of topics to talk about again this week. I got a few, and so does Ludus. He's hiding one from me. I don't know why. We'll find that out towards the end of the stream. I am curious to find out why, though. I'm curious. But, for the most part, our starting topic is going to be talking about the classification board response to the senator's call to ban anime. So, did you hear about this senator who's pushing to have anime banned?
Unfortunately heard about that.
Yeah, this guy's a straight dumbass.
That's putting it very politely.
It's like, oh, DBZ is anime porn. What?
I can't remember which Discord I said this in. It might have been your Discord. Maybe he went to Rule 34 by mistake. I mean, it's an honest mistake. If he did, it's cool. Everyone's a little freaky. But DBZ itself, even though I don't like it, it's not inappropriate. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Yeah, I can't wrap my brain around this. I honestly, why try and ban anime? I don't get it. Like oh, it's corrupting our children and it's porn. It's got fan service. It's not meant for kids, you retards. Like what? I don't get it. It's a genre of entertainment that's from a different culture. Let's ban it! What?
I think Jorge got this one kind of right on the, got the nail right on the head. Games are the best scapegoat. Nah, anime is the best scapegoat.
Yeah. I don't get it. The thing is, I've been having a hard time finding an article talking about the latest one I heard about, which was this last week. Everything I'm seeing is from February. But it was reported on YouTube by several other YouTubers, and they talked about it. Lost Paws talked about it. Let's see if I can pull up his video. I'm not going to actually play it for the stream. That's his video. Go check it out. But just see if he links an article or anything that might help. Lost Paws. I am well prepared today. No, I'm not. Normally I prepare like 2-3 hours before the stream. I have everything laid out, make sure I have all the proper resources. Problem is I had a power outage until about 30 minutes ago-ish. So there's that downside. But while I look for his video on the topic, let me just welcome everybody. Yokai1235, welcome. Mustafa, Jorge, Captain UFO, Billy Mount, Meme Gene 69, Kenneth Robinson, Ludus, you're there. Okay, I think that Fincarn and Kiro, welcome to the stream. Welcome, everybody who's hopped in the stream. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Geekus Theoreticus podcast. So yeah, with anybody who's just hopping in, we're covering the topic of a senator who wants to ban anime for some reason.
Kiro points this out. The only thing that can make DBZ anime, you know what, is that Japanese Bulma scene with Master Roshi. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
What? The only thing that... Okay, I'm just rereading it.
Okay. Yeah, you went quiet for a second. I'm like, did I lose audio?
No, I'm reading it, making sure.
Yes.
The scene with Roshi, okay. There's many scenes with Roshi. But even then, to call DBZ anime porn is fucking ridiculous. Okay, there's hentai, and then there's anime. Anime widely has a lot of fucking fan service. It's one of the best parts about the genre. There's a lot of fan service in the genre. It's incredibly entertaining. But it's not straight porn. It's a lot of suggestive shit, but that's it. and it's not meant for kids. Just because it's 2D animated doesn't mean it's meant for kids. We've had this argument for years.
I do think a better argument would have been Master Jiraiya from Naruto.
Anime is widely marketed towards the older teen demographic to adult demographic. Widely, there are some kids anime, but they're pretty much non-existent in terms of like how widely they're made. The ones that are made are very popular and long-lasting, but there's not a lot of them. That you have the Yu-Gi-Oh, Bakugan, Pokemon, that kind of thing, but they're compared to how many like mainstream young kids anime there is compared to the adult anime that's out there. It's like night and day. It's like a flea bit size amount of kids anime versus the gigantic golem fucking amount of adult anime there are out there, or older anime for teens and up. It's completely overwhelming, the numbers, but they've never marketed them as not for that age demographic. They never said, "Oh, hey, send all the 5-year-olds and 12-year-olds to us. We got a huge list of anime they can watch. It's all for kids because it's anime." No one said that. No one on this earth that Interspecies Reviewers was supposed to be for kids. Nobody.
My two examples are going to be Assassination Classroom and Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, they're not meant for. The thing is, the culture in Japan isn't the same as the fucked up culture we have here when it comes to animated features. In Japan, they're like, "Oh, it's animated, but that doesn't mean it can't be for adults." Here in the West, for some ungodly reason, a bunch of old fart senators who have no fucking idea what they're talking about are like, "Oh, well, it's 2D animated. I mean, it's being marketed towards kids, but it's got sexy scenes in it, so it's clearly meant to manipulate the minds of children. We must end this." Look, listen, you asswipe. Just because you haven't gotten any poon in like the last 30 years of your fucking life doesn't mean you get to bitch and moan that a cartoon that is not meant for kids has suggestive imagery and suggestive sounds and all that shit. Get a fucking life and actually focus on matters that matter. Why the fuck is this reaching a senator's desk? This is retarded. This is fucking retarded. I'm sorry. It pisses me off that this is even being talked about in an official government office.
Although, if I do remember right, it's not a U.S. senator. I mean, a U.S. senator could very well be doing it, but I think this one specifically was an Australian one.
Yeah, the one I could be talking about might be Australian, but it doesn't matter whose government it is.
It's just still a government.
The fact that a governmental official has this on their docket of issues to bring to their government blows my mind. How can, out of all the things you could be talking about for issues, you bring this to the docket? Fuck you.
It reminds me of the whole video game, like violent video game argument.
It's the same exact argument. It's so dumb.
It's like you don't have better things to be doing with your time, really?
Apparently not. Apparently not. And I don't understand this shit. I really don't. Finkern says, it's just a boomer thing. Even the West has adult animations. The Simpsons drawn together, Rick and Morty. Yeah, but here in the West, it's widely less accepted, especially by the older people. Kibbs. Holy crap. With the $20. Thank you so much, Kibbs, for the super chat.
To you, mighty donator.
Look at these two heckin' nerds right here. Nerd alert, nerd alert. Wait, weebs? Weeb nerds, words. Thank you very much for the $20, Kibbs. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ludus and I appreciate it quite a bit.
Yeah, yes, we absolutely do. And to counter your comment, Kibbs, are you the pot or are you the kettle in this situation?
Would you like to be the pot or the kettle? I say he's pot.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we're kettle.
Although I would like to say, Fincarn pointed out The Simpsons drawn together in Rick and Morty. Better examples of Western adult animation. You're looking more like Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy.
Definitely.
I remember watching those when I was like 5. Not for kids, but funny as hell to watch if you are one.
Oh yeah. Meme Gene 69, thank you so much for the super chat. 35 GTQ. Sorry, I don't know all the currencies. We will defend anime and manga of great culture value by any memes necessary. Nice play on words. I like that. That's
I'm
nice.
curious what that GTQ is.
I don't know.
Praise
I'm
be to
looking it
you,
up right
mighty
now.
donator.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, what is it?
It is a Guatemalan Quetzal, and
Guatemalan.
I'm assuming that's named after the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl.
I'll just nod my head, pretend I know that stuff.
And the only reason I
my
fucking know that is from a Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
I have no shame.
Games are education, people.
They really are. I will say they really are, because like I've told you before in private, I played Final Fantasy VII when I was 6, 7 years old. No, yeah, about 6, 7 years old, and
I played
really
till I was like 10. I played Final Fantasy VII when I was like 10 or 11.
That's because I was like 6 or 7 when it came out. It came out in 97, so yeah, I was 6.
I wasn't even alive yet. I don't think I was conceived yet.
But yeah, so I will say that playing that game, because even then it was rated T for teen, I do believe it did help develop my vocabulary. As hard as that is to believe now.
Well, the thing is, I always credit World of Warcraft for helping me like learn how to read better, because back when I played in Vanilla WoW, I was a little kid, so I had to read the quest text, and so I would constantly look at my dad and go, "What's this word mean?" And he literally one day got so sick and tired of it, he brought over to the desk where I was playing the game a thesaurus and a dictionary, and he said, "Next time you ask, look here." My reading level went from being at the same level as my peers to I was reading at a high school grade level by the age of like 8 or 9. Oh my god, it was hilarious.
I genuinely scared people because where I have severe ADHD, they were toying with the idea of putting me in the special ed classes.
Oh, they didn't even toy that with me. They just threw me in there.
They didn't, because my mom threatened them.
I will knife you, you sons of bitches. Don't even think about it.
No, she's like, he's not learning disabled.
He's just weird.
Yeah. Well, kind of, yeah. Essentially, I'm gonna try and word this in nicer ways than she did. He just has a chemical imbalance, and he's taking medication for it. So, by the way, for anyone who doesn't, I would absolutely not recommend the medication Adderall.
Adderall? Wasn't there a scandal with Adderall a few years back?
There were a bunch of them, but no. Yeah, so
I remember Adderall being a very controversial drug.
Oh no, I was in the 3rd grade, and as hard as this would be to believe now, I looked like I was anorexic. You could see my collarbone and my ribs poking out right here.
I've never been that thin, really, ever. I've always been a bigger guy.
But no, so in 7th grade, I had a really bad habit of not doing my homework and just playing video games instead. But in 7th grade, I had a college plus reading level. Yeah,
it's kind of weird. I got more out of the video games I played than I did the teachers teaching me how to spell. Oh god. All right,
I think English
new
is
subscriber
ridiculous.
joins the fray.
All right. What's your first topic? Because we more or less like pissed down the neck of the guy who was trying to ban anime. Fucking boomer.
So to kind of turn this, this is a topic that at first I was really skeptical about and really kind of like, oh, Microsoft is doing something stupid. Actually, this might be one of their smarter moves. They're introducing the Microsoft xCloud on September the 15th is when it releases. So what this is is you have to have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is $15 a month, and you can automatically use xCloud at that point. But you can play. Right now, there's select games, but they're planning on all Game Pass games on tablets or Android phones for now, and they're working on iOS, even though it's garbage. I hate iPhones. So, the only thing you need to do there is the Game Pass Ultimate membership, a Bluetooth-enabled controller, which most are now, or they have something you can buy. You know, like how they had the thing for the PlayStation where you could attach your phone to it and have the controller? They have something similar to that. But essentially what this does is if you only want to play Game Pass games, this eliminates the entire need for a console.
Well, yeah.
No, I mean, it really does. And so that's something I'm looking at like,
Yeah, can you share the article with me real quick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we, again, very unprepared today.
That was also kind of my fault because I didn't even think about doing that. I'll share all three of mine. That might be helpful.
That might be a tad helpful, yeah. Alright, so I got to pull it up for the podcast. Yeah. So with this controller, this works with all phones, or?
With Android.
Okay, so it doesn't work for iPhones.
Right. Right now, the entire system doesn't work for iPhone.
I do like the idea of making it like a controller, like kind of like turning your phone into a PSP is kind of what it looks like.
Oh no, in some games they're saying will be touch compatible.
I don't know. I prefer maybe this is where being slightly older affects it, but I prefer a controller.
Oh, I agree completely.
I like buttons. I don't like touchscreen. Because touchscreen, you have, unless if the sensors are even a little off, if your phone's a little older, it's gonna fuck you up so much. That's why I hate sensors. With buttons, you can feel if they're fucked up.
Here's a hilarious thought for you. The two games they have that support touch control so far are Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice and Gears 5.
Gears 5?
Here's a funny thought for you. Imagine playing Halo multiplayer with a touchscreen phone.
If it's cross-platform, they're fucked.
Oh, well, I wasn't even thinking about that, but think about how chaotic that would be to control.
You would literally stand no fucking chance. Like, none. You'd be fucked. You'd be totally fucked if it was cross-platform. Even if it was against a console pleb. There's, like, the tiers of difficulty or, like, control is there's phones at the, like, piss bottom. Then you got consoles, then you got PC. People on console are fucked when they're usually against somebody who's just as good as they are on PC. Or better. But people who would be on their phones would get fucked on two fronts if they were going up against people who are on console and PC.
Well,
and this is just general game. It'd be so fucking terrible. It'd be a slaughterhouse. Hell, you'd be able to tell who's on their phone because their movement would be a lot more jagged. Be like, that person's on their phone. Dead.
Jorge brings up a good point. When I hear pay X per month to Y talking about subscriptions and how he doesn't like them, I will say this. So I had Game Pass Ultimate for a while. I enjoy it. I just have to get it back up. However, if you're going to have it anyway, this really does eliminate the need for a console. So this
one thing I do want to point out real quick though is subscription services have been around for many years, and if my problem isn't if there's a subscription service, if it's like this, if you have to pay for the game full price and then you have to pay for a subscription service and there are microtransactions, that is pure fucking cancer. I hate that shit. But if this is how I would prefer a system like this, if you pay just a subscription service, and once you're a subscriber of this service, it again gives you access to the thing you wanted to purchase, which you could have purchased separately. But if you purchase the monthly subscription, you automatically get it. I would prefer that, and there'd be no microtransactions. Let's use video games as an example, since that's what we all love. World of Warcraft has a, you have to buy the base game and then buy the base expansions, and then to play it, you have to get the subscription service, and there are microtransactions. But back in the day, you just had to purchase the base game and then pay for the subscription service. The base game was full $60 price, but it wasn't, once you paid for the subscription service, it wasn't that big of a deal, because you were paying for playing the game regularly, but there were no microtransactions. So there was only those 2 steps of payment. Still a lot, still more than I would have done. I would have preferred just a flat subscription service. If the game isn't good enough to hold their interest for more than a couple months, then, especially for a game that would require a subscription service, then they shouldn't have been forced to purchase it for $60 in the base game. I think if you're going to do a subscription service, just do the subscription service. Don't pull in every other form of payment system on the market as well. That's so fucking stupid. It's like, oh, not only do you have to pay $60 for the base game, but to even play it, you also have to pay an exorbitant price to play it, with a $15 a month price. And then there's going to be a microtransaction system in the game. Now, I don't care if it's for cosmetics or if it's pay to win. If it's pay to win, fuck that game. But if it's for cosmetics, it's still shitty. The person's already paid through 2 fucking hoops to do that shit. It's so stupid.
I will say that...
welcome, Dyslexic Gamer, to the podcast. Welcome.
I will say that I really appreciate Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, because it gives you both Xbox Gold and Game Pass for the price of $15, when both separately are $10 a piece. So it lowers the price because you're getting both. And at the same time, it with the Gold, every month you get access to, I believe, 5 games for free. And with Game Pass Ultimate, as long as they're on there and you have Game Pass, they're free to play. And this is Master Chief Collection. This is Gears 5. These aren't cheap games. Master Chief Collection, I believe last time I looked, was like $40-$50.
I believe it's 50. But I don't know, can I check without it being a pain in my ass?
But even so, let's just say 50 for sake of argument. Gears 5, I believe, is like 50-60. So right there, you've already got $100 worth of games. There are hundreds on Game Pass. So I mean, it's one where if you don't want to get the console but you still want to play the games, that is actually a good road, I would think.
Yeah, for a subscription service like that, where you don't have to purchase the games as well, and they can come with the subscription service, that is a better format, I think, for a game service. If you're just purchasing the subscription, but it comes with games. Like, for example, this is where Stadia completely fucked itself in the ass, in my opinion. Stadia could have been something good if they had put any remote amount of thought into it. Thing is, the problem is when a common gamer has a better idea of what a subscription service would look like than the fucking heads of whoever started the Stadia project did, that's sad. Because with Stadia, they're like, oh, you have to purchase the games and a subscription service.
What's Google?
Fuck that! Especially when all the games that they're trying to get us to buy were on the market already. People had already purchased them on other platforms.
But Google has a very, very thorough history of fucking people over.
Oh yeah, clearly. Seriously, they butcher everything. They kill everything they touch. Google Glass got fucked up. That Google, what was it? That Google car thing.
Oh, I
don't even remember that one. That one was fucked up.
I heard about it for like a week and then it vanished.
Everything Google makes just gets fucked in the end because they don't. The thing is, they just put their name on it and call it good. I don't think they actually try hard at any of this shit. It's like, oh, Google Glass. Oh, people don't like it. Okay, we give up. Oh, this Google car automatically drives around. Oh, nobody likes it. Okay. Oh, YouTube. We own YouTube. Wow, people hate the fact that we run this? Well, we can't give up on this. This is our last thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god. It's just it amazes me that they keep fucking up so thoroughly.
So, Yokai does bring up a good point. With,
$40 by the way. Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh, $40? Okay.
Yep, $40.
Yokai says, but if you cancel the subscription or get arbitrarily banned, you can't play those games.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
I have found a solution to this. I mean, like, if you want to continue to play the games, keep up the subscription, or if you can't, you just can't. And an easy way to not get banned is do what I do and not talk to people. Like flat out, I don't interact.
Yeah, I don't socialize on platforms like a gaming platform. Like I don't socialize on Steam. I socialize on Discord, and I meet people up there, and then I add them to my Steam list. Same with Blizzard. Don't socialize. Like it's so stupid. Just don't interact with people on these platforms. They're not Facebook alternatives. They're not like they like to pretend they are to a degree, but let's be honest, just don't.
They're not.
Just don't. Not when there's so much more on the line. Like if you quote unquote fuck up on Facebook or Twitter and get banned, all you lose is just like a platform to bitch at people on. That's it. But you don't lose a laundry list of games to play that you already purchased. And I'm pissed that that's even possible. I think that should be like, I don't know, something about that is like very illegal. Like when someone purchases a product, I don't think a company should have a right to deny them access to the product that they purchased. Especially when they have a purchase once and it's yours setup like Steam does. Like if I purchase something on Steam and download it, it's fucking mine. I don't give a shit if you ban me or whatever the fuck. It's my property. You cannot deny me access to my property. Fuck you. I will sue your ass if you try to do that. I purchase goods and services from you. You're not allowing access to said goods and purchases. I'm pretty damn certain somewhere along the line that's fucking illegal.
And I would have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that as far as Xbox is concerned, I think the worst they do is just perma-mute you. In order to get banned, you've got to do something pretty fucking serious.
Or just piss off the right person.
Even then, it's really hard to get banned. Now you can get muted. That is not hard at all. But to get like your whole account yeeted, that's kind of a hard one to do.
It's not hard to get yeeted on a lot of platforms, though.
Although I will say, I do have. We were talking about like not interacting with people. I used to get DM'd all the time playing Red Dead because people would like shoot me.
Do you play Red Dead on PC?
I play it on Xbox.
Damn it.
It
wouldn't happen to be cross-platform, would it?
Do you have it through Microsoft Store or Steam?
Steam.
Probably not.
Damn it.
Through Microsoft Store, I believe it is. Through Steam, I believe it's not.
Shit.
But
as I just started the online like 2 days ago, and there's a posse system that the game recommends again. I'm the only one I know who plays the damn thing.
But so like a level 10 or 20 or some shit, and I'm like level 100, decides to start shooting me, and he's there apparently with his father, and I spend 30 minutes showing them how much I appreciated that. And they're like, we're just trying to have family time. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have shot me. It's family time. You're enjoying getting owned together.
Good. I miss ganking. I miss ganking the shitheads back in the day in WoW.
I didn't do that.
I did that a ton. I ninja looted a lot, and I also I ninja looted, and I also fucked people. I ganked the low-level players as my rogue. I was such a cunt.
So I'm pretty much a loner in games like that. I just stick to my own thing. I don't interact with others until
I try to be solo in most games I play, but for WoW, that was like the one game I did socially.
You're like, who can I fuck over now?
That was the goal. That was the goal at the time. Ginger Ninja, welcome. Gingerly comes out of his cave. It's just ginger puns with that guy.
Oh no, it's puns about him being a ginger, and it's puns of because a long time ago, someone made a joke that he lives under a so it's a lot of those as well.
Jorge says what they are doing now is called the destruction of the concept of private property. If you don't own your stuff, then they can do whatever they want with your stuff. Well, the thing is, you have proof that you own these things. When you purchase something on Steam, you get a receipt that you can print off. I recommend to everybody, because I know a lot of people just ignore that stuff, print off the receipts of each of your purchases. Because if you ever piss off the wrong people on Steam and get banned, and they deny you access to your games, take them to court. Take their asses to court. Because I will if that ever happens. Not that I socialize on there. I don't see how that would ever happen. But if I ever were to get banned for some stupid reason and denied access to my purchased games, I would take all my print-offs, go to a lawyer, and say, let's fuck these assholes over. Because they are denying access to my property. I purchased the goods. They are mine. They don't have a right to deny me access. They have every right to deny me access to Steam, the platform, but not to my games.
Yeah, I would say at least ban you from like the multiplayer aspect of it.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit. But you can't deny me access to my property that I purchased. Right. They give you a goddamn receipt.
I could see why they would ban me. All they'd have to do is watch some of my Cards Against Humanity community events.
Well, even then, that's not on their platform. That's I don't like what Twitch does, where if you like piss somebody off on Twitter, they can ban you. That's the dumbest shit ever. It's not on your platform. Oh, yeah. Who gives a shit?
I agree 100%.
Like, it's not on your platform. It's not where you operate out of. No one gives a shit. Like, why? Why the fuck do that? I don't get it. It's like, oh, well, it makes the platform look bad. No, it doesn't. No one cares. You think the fans of this guy give a shit if he calls some idiot on Twitter a dork or an idiot?
Some idiot on Twitter, an idiot? No, they'll be like, he's just pointing out a fact.
People's fans don't give a shit what they do, typically. Or they'll defend it. That's normal. Because most people who are following this person follow them because they know the kind of person they are.
Yeah.
Glad V says, "Who can I fuck now?" Sounds like Monopoly to me. You should have said, "Who can I fuck over now?" Because the way I read that is like, okay, who can I stick my dick in? Who's bent over?
I mean, there's no reason it can't be a fun time at the same time.
Good point. Very good point. Oh my god. But yeah, like I said, if you purchase games on Steam, I know a lot of people just kind of mosey on past the receipt page. Don't do that. Print off the receipt. Or at the very least, get like a PDF of it. And keep them in a folder. Especially if you socialize on those platforms. Alright, so next topic on the docket, on my docket anyway, was, yes. This was, happened a little while ago. It looks like it's been resolved, but at the time, do you know the YouTube animator Narmak?
I do not.
Okay, he made the SpongeBob anime episode #1, and the other one, there's two of them. There's like an English translation or like a dub, and then there's a sub, I believe. He made both, and he got struck because do you remember the what's it called now? The Children's Protection Act, COPPA.
Oh yeah, the stupid shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that stupid retarded piece of crap that makes us have to label every single video not for kids. Well, even though he labeled these not for kids and he made these animations himself, and it's clearly made in an anime style with more like blood and adult themes, for some dumb reason he got a COPPA strike.
It's because it's SpongeBob.
Does that mean every idiot on like Rule 34 is fucked who makes SpongeBob porn? Are you kidding me?
Delve down that hole.
Oh my god, it's so fucking dumb. It's so. Oh my fucking god. It's not meant for kids. It's a fan animation of SpongeBob, but it's not for kids. It not just because it's SpongeBob doesn't mean it's for kids. He's just taking the characters and making them anime-esque. Anime, as we discussed at the beginning of the stream, is majorly for adults and older teens. It's not for kids. Just because it has characters from a kid's show does not mean it's for kids. Again, there are people on Rule 34 who draw SpongeBob porn. I've seen it.
Please not delve down that hole. And there were many things I was comfortable talking about. That kind of weirds me out a little bit because I know that SpongeBob is tailored for small kids.
Yeah, I don't partake in it. I've seen it though.
I
don't partake into the cartoon stuff.
I
personally.
paused, but I didn't inhale.
Oh god, I just don't get why. It looks like it's been solved-ish, kind of. At the very least, the animations are back up.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard about the bans much since the initial news about it. But so assuming it's been resolved, at least that's good. But my problem is the wider implications of this. The fact that people can't even talk about kid stuff on an adult perspective is kind of scary. Because think about it, like, what if somebody else makes a fan animation of a different cartoon? Let's say Rugrats. They do an anime animation of Rugrats. Are they gonna now? Are they now gonna get Kappa struck?
They probably will, but I think something similar will happen. Is what happened here. I think it'll be an initial Kappa strike, and then it'll just get resolved in their favor after they're like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Plus SpongeBob equals not for fucking kids.
But that shouldn't have to be a concern on every animator's mind when they do stuff. What about StarCrafts? Yeah, it's family friendly, but it's not purely for kids.
I agree with you 100%, but also I do believe it is on an automated system like every fucking thing else at YouTube.
Well, they need to refine it because he got 2 strikes, by the way. He was one strike away from having his channel nuked. If he had uploaded a 3rd rendition of this video, he would have been nuked off the platform.
Yeah.
What if somebody made a bunch of animations of anime-esque animations of a kid's cartoon years ago? Are they gonna have to worry about it now?
I mean, that's kind of what
Content Cop got nuked off, remember? Due to policy changes on this platform. And that's years and years old.
I don't have now I get a bunch of copyright claims. I've never gotten a copyright strike in a year and a half, 2 years.
I got a copyright strike on my old channel for SAO abridged reactions. Like, I got struck for 2 of those. I almost got that channel nuked. That was shitty. But I have experienced that. It's not a good feeling. It's not good.
But I will say the most experience I do have with any kind of copyright strike, and I did not know this, and maybe you'll be able to tell me if this is true or not. If YouTube copyrights a live stream that you're doing, they also hold or just outright take the donation.
I've never had one that I don't believe they hold donations. They don't hold super chats, I don't think, but they'll hold like the ad revenue.
Okay.
But if you get a super chat during a live stream that they hit, they can't hold the. I don't think they'll hold the super chats. I think that's automatically calculated towards your AdSense. But they'll hold the ad revenue for sure. But they're not. They don't. I don't think they hold themselves accountable with the with super chats. That's audience. That's audience. What's the word?
Right.
Discretion. It's audience discretion.
Yeah. No, so that's actually interesting then, because I saw another YouTuber who did a live stream and apparently had $1,500 missing.
1,500
Yes, I am not making that up.
from super chats or ad revenue?
I think from super chats.
YouTube can't hold that. That's a direct donation from the audience. It's not from an advertiser.
Yeah. So I have no clue how that happened. So the speculation is that he got a copyright strike on that stream, but even still, from what you're saying, that wouldn't make sense that he'd be missing $1,500.
No. The thing is, it would also depend. Did he only get $1,500 of super chats, or did he get more than that, and some of it wasn't given to him?
You're asking the wrong person. On my assumption,
well, you're the one bringing it to me, so you're the only one I can ask.
I didn't watch the entire stream, so I'm going to go based on the assumption he got more, but did not get $1,500 out of it.
Well, that makes even less sense.
It's not my fault. Well, no, yeah, okay, so, Jorge, it's not taking a cut from the super chats. From what I understand, he was supposed to get around, like, 2,000 and only got, like, 500.
Yeah, Jorge, me and Ludus are very aware of YouTube's cut of it. And I believe every streamer is. YouTube doesn't hide it. YouTube takes 33% of your super chats. Now, assuming this guy knows that, if you're live streaming on any platform, you need to know the monetary setup of the platform. You need to know that. You need to know how it works and what cut is yours, what cut is not, because when you're doing the calculation of what money should be coming to you, if there is money missing, let's say with this guy with the $1,500, and with this $1,500 that was missing, if YouTube only takes 33%. So if 33% of all the super chats he got during the stream only came out to $1,500, he should have known that wasn't his to hold. But by the sounds of it, if he's complaining that it is his, that is with the understanding that $1,500 is not in the calculation for the 33% YouTube takes. So at least that's my guess. If he got for the ad revenue. For him to owe YouTube $1,500, 33%. Wouldn't he have had to make like over, I don't know,
approximately $4,500?
Yeah, 40. He would have had to get a decent chunk of change, and very few, even big streamers don't get that much. Don't get that much per stream, unless it's like a Mr. Beast drops in and drops a nuke on you. Which I don't even think he does anymore.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did. I also found out he's younger than me, and that makes me hate him a little.
Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
I think he's a little older than me, so.
If I remember, because I saw somewhere that he's like in his mid-20s. I'm like, I hate him now.
Yeah, he's older than me then. I'm gonna be 21 next month. I can legally drink. YouTube is like Cosa Nostra, just without the class. Mafia tactics: if make more money than what we allow you to make, we keep it. YouTube Mafia overlords. It's not like that though. The thing is, the agreement you sign with YouTube for like live streaming and to monetize your content, I've read it through, and I know a lot of people don't, but they really should. YouTube has no right to hold super chats from you. Or ad revenue for that matter, unless there's a basis of copyright infringement or a community guideline strike. Either way, though, even if it is a copyright strike, they don't have a right to hold super chats. Super chats are direct donations, unless they have definitive proof that the super chats were donated due to the copyrighted content. Unless they have definitive proof of that, it's still money that's owed to the creator. Ad revenue, there's no argument. Ad revenue is just an automated thing that goes via auction onto every video. So that money is inconsequential towards the content. So if there is a copyright claim on the content, YouTube is held responsible to make sure that the ad revenue is not quote-unquote supporting copyright infringement, because they could be held accountable in court for that as a platform.
Are
Well,
you ready for me to be more
yeah.
depressed?
Hey, why are you now more depressed?
He's 22. He just turned 22.
Mr. Beast?
Yes.
Oh wow, he's only a year older than me.
Yes, he literally just turned 22.
So he's
I
a
am
year and a couple months older than me.
Yeah, I'm very sad now.
Don't
I
worry,
have
man.
wasted my life.
I wonder where he gets all his money. I think everybody wonders that. Like, where the fuck are you getting your money, bro?
You know what?
where the fuck?
I'm not even going to question it because he does use it to help a lot of people. So, I can't really. If he were just hoarding it and being a dick, I'd be like, that doesn't seem right. But he's helping a lot of people. He's done a lot of good things. So it's like, at least he's doing something good with it. I mean, I know that's a really fine edge knife to be balancing on, but
all right. So, yeah, for the most part, just to wrap up the SpongeBob thing, I am worried that there is going to be deeper implications going forward that a lot of, not just animators, but I think anybody who even approaches touching kid-related content, even if it's from an adult perspective, I think a lot of people are going to have to be really cautious because, again, Narmak's a very good animator. So the fact that he almost got nuked for such a stupid thing, I'm a little testy about it. I'm not happy to see that shit go down personally.
right.
Finkart's almost 30.
In Fincarn, actually, I will be talking about that at the end of the podcast.
Your age?
Well, he says he just turned 29 3 days ago. That is also relevant to my surprise.
I'm very, very confused now because I thought it was a news topic.
No, it's not a news topic. It's not a news topic, and it's neither drama nor political.
Okay. Well,
I love
SpongeBob
watching...
was my topic, so what's your next one?
So this one probably won't be that big of a deal, for most people. For anyone who doesn't know, Baldur's Gate was an amazing game, as well as Baldur's Gate 2: Shadows of Amn.
Just for reference, I only played Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. That was my childhood.
They were both amazing games, and Baldur's Gate 3 was supposed to come out in early access. They have now put off announcing the launch of the early access. They will be announcing it, I believe it's on the 18th of this month, because I think that they hit kind of a snag, so they have... they will be doing its Panel from Hell live stream event, set to be held on the 18th of August, where they will announce the new early access launch date. So this is something that I've been keeping a little bit of an eye on because I'm curious to see how they're going to do with Baldur's Gate 3. However, I'm in no way thinking that it's going to be better than the first two. I don't think it'll be bad, but it's one of those games where I've played them for over 20 years, so it would be really hard to make them better in my eyes just for the nostalgia.
I think a lot of game companies have that challenge with continuing franchises. This is just kind of like a side point when it comes to how certain game companies are trying to continue certain franchises with new people. I think a huge part of why certain franchises should just end at certain points is because a lot of it is down to personal connection from the developers. I think when a developer is making a game, let's say like there's this like with Blizzard, the core team that made Warcrafts 1 through 3 were pretty much the same teams with a couple new people joining in and out, and a couple old people leaving in and out from 1 to 3. Pretty much the entire Warcraft team for the RTS days is gone. And we see how that's affected World of Warcraft. I would not want these people, and how it affected Reforged, I would not want these people to touch a Warcraft 4 in a million fucking years. It's none of the same developers, none of the same people who worked on it originally. It's a bunch of people who basically got a new thing inherited, like it passed on to them. A large responsibility and a franchise they have no personal connection to its roots for. Maybe they played it when they were younger, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be good at the development or the creation of its development going forward. So I think that's a huge problem with pretty much all game franchises. I think once we hit a certain point, like once the original team is completely dissolved and there's pretty much nobody there from the original days, just stop the franchise. Start a new one. Could be part of the same universe, but start a different franchise. Because I really think once you lose the old blood of all the people who worked on it before, you've completely lost your ground. Like you've lost the foundations of what it's built on, and you just have a bunch of new people who have no idea what they're doing. Not to mention, there's also the Activision and EA shareholder heads that you got to worry about, the dickbags.
So, now Jorge, I'm not entirely sure they're delaying it because of COVID-19. I think they're delaying it because they had a snag in development, but not a massive one, so they just had to push it maybe about a week or two. But that being said, Larian Studios is the same people that did Divinity Original Sin 2. And what they're doing as far as early access is they're doing what they did with Divinity Original Sin 2, and they're releasing the entire first act. And what it mentioned is that the first act of Baldur's Gate 3 will be much bigger than Divinity Original Sin 2's first act. So that could also have something to do with it.
Maybe.
So I think they're going to release it in pieces.
Meme Gene 69 says early access, such cursed words. Early access has a lot of negative implications these days.
I don't think this is really early access, though.
It says right there, early access.
What? No. Okay, so early access to me would be releasing the entire game. They're not. They're releasing it act by act, and I think you only have to pay.
Yeah, but you can paint it any way you want, but early access is still early access. If you're given a quote unquote early access, they're doing that with the intent of giving themselves an excuse to say like if people find a bunch of bugs or a bunch of problems, like it's early access, we're letting you touch it early, we're not quite done. They're admitting they're not done. So you can dress it up any way you want, or like, I think early access is this way or that way. But at the end of the day, early access is just an excuse for developers to basically shrug off any criticism of this game is buggy as shit. It's not done. It's not completed. It's not refined or polished in any way. And it's early access. It's bullshit.
Again, this would be something I would have to go back and look how they handled Divinity 2, because apparently they did the same thing with Divinity 2. So it's something I would have to go back and see how they handled that as well before I make a final judgment call. Again, I'm not really super excited for it. I love the series, but it's just something that I want to wait and see before I actually say yay or nay.
I don't know. I do think early access has a lot of. It's at this point it just means we're releasing the game unfinished. That's all it really means these days. I don't like early access because almost every game with any kind of form of online service is now coming out with some dipshit quote unquote early access. Say, we're giving early access to this, early access to this. They paint it in such a way like they're generously allowing you to touch the game early, when in reality they're just trying to start making money on it early as they're still working on it.
Though I will say, as far as early access, Blizzard has came up with the best bullshit I've ever heard. Pre-update patch.
Pre-update my fucking ass.
Doesn't that phrase just make you want to puke in your mouth a little?
It does. What? It's so full of shit. Does anyone buy their bullshit? Does anyone believe the phrasing we're a pre-update patch? No, it's a patch.
To quote George Carlin, they can pre-suck my genital situation.
I don't get it. I don't believe I believe the majority of gamers are smart enough to know when they're being bullshitted. And when early access came out as a concept, it was a good idea. The idea that you can release a game and then continue to work on it and continue to update it and develop it. But the thing is, back in the day, early access meant you got the first whole expansion polished, completed, and refined. And then they'd add expansions, like with StarCraft. With StarCraft Wings of Liberty, it didn't come out as a buggy, shitty mess. It had problems. Every game does. But it came out more or less polished and finished. It was a finished game. Wings of Liberty was very much its own complete game. Yep. When Heart of the Swarm came out, it was an expansion onto it. People consider Wings, and I would consider Wings of Liberty an example of what is a good example of early access. It's a completed game that will be expanded upon later, instead of releasing all the expansions into one giant game at once. I like that form of quote-unquote early access. My problem is nowadays early access is used pretty much for every fucking game on the market. Even single-player ones. Like, oh, you get early access to this game. It's like, yeah, but it's really just an excuse for you to release a game that's so fucking shitty that nobody really wants to play it. That's really all it is. It's just an excuse. So they don't have to accept the criticism that comes their way about how shitty the games are.
Again, this is something I don't know about the company. Maybe they are.
Well, I'm not saying specifically Larian is going to do this, but this is just general, the whole gaming sphere. Right. Even some indie devs have abused it a little bit, and I don't like that. It's like, just finish the fucking game. Just finish the game, and then update it.
And maybe they are doing the early access to stress test it to see if there are bugs they miss. I mean, if so, I'm cool with that. If they're like, okay, we think we got it, but this way we'll know if there are bugs, and then we'll fix them as quick as we can. I'm kind of cool with that, too. But, because they aren't going to catch everything off the bat. I mean, ideally they will, but they're human, too. So, it's a little bit good. Now, if it comes out unplayable, that's unacceptable. But if it's playable and there's like a bug or two here and there, or it needs to get through a stress test, I kind of get it.
Yeah, but they should do a stress test via an alpha or a beta.
True.
Not via an early access or launch. Access, yeah. Early access is supposed to be in its own way an official launch. Like, everybody can access it. It's just quote-unquote early.
And I think that's something that's happened in the gaming community, and I don't really know who's to blame for this one, whether it's the community themselves or the game developers. But I think what happened is games were releasing in beta. I remember when they were releasing in, like, alphas or betas. And they don't do anymore, and they do early access launches and shit like that. So I'm wondering if they're just using them interchangeably. Like, for instance, releasing an early access launch is like, here's the beta, or here's the alpha, or whatever. And I think it just kind of, it became colloquially the same. That was a hard word to say.
Colloquially?
Exactly.
But colloquially. Colloquially. Yeah, it is a weird word to say.
But
I know what you're saying, though. Colloquially. Yeah. Fuck.
But they essentially became the same thing in meaning, but different words of saying it. And I don't like that because they're not the same thing, but they've just, again, colloquially became the same thing.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, I just don't like the fact that nowadays in early access, nowadays early accesses look like a lot of games back in the day's version of alphas. Like with Fallout 76, its official launch looked like an alpha.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like an alpha build.
It was bad on launch.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so that's for that topic. Jorge says, didn't Star Citizen... yeah, this wasn't on the docket of things to bring up, but did you hear about that?
What?
Star Citizen recently released a roadmap for their roadmap.
I haven't had enough coffee. I have not had enough coffee.
No one on Earth has had enough coffee for that one.
I honestly, I have no clue what to say about that. I really don't. That's like, what do you say to that?
you just shake your head, smash your head against the wall once, and walk away. Because that's about all I could do. So we got a roadmap for our roadmap. It's like I'm out. I'd be done.
Understand how that works.
Oh god, that was funny to hear though. I did hear about that, but that was fucking ridiculous.
I have not heard about that, and I have no opinion on that because I don't know what to think.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And the thing is, Star Citizen's been in development since like what, 2005, 2004?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
It's been in development for a very long time. People have left and right been donating like piles of money to the project. There's been multiple Kickstarters, multiple Kickstarter extensions. And the thing is, I think they have like a release, like there's a current game you can play of Star Citizen, but it's like, I believe it's early access. I believe I've seen like It's a Gundam playing it a couple times. I think it was Star Citizen he was playing because that's what the game was listed in like the category down below in the description. So I guess there's a playable game right now. The thing is, I'm very suspicious. Because, yes, it's clear that they're developing the game, but how much of that money... Because I think they've had over $1 million given to them by backers over the course of the couple years, and they still haven't got a released game yet.
I'm looking at it now, trying to see, and I'm not finding anything. I know there's almost 3 million people.
I know that it's had quite a bit of money poured into it, and at some point I think the people got to go, you know what, I'm done. Stop giving money to it. Like, when you listen, I worked as an indie dev for multiple years. I know how the process of development goes, and I know how much it costs. It costs a fucking ton of money to develop a game, even a simple game. Unless you're doing everything yourself. And even then, it still costs money. If you're doing all the 3D modeling, all the 3D animations, all the programming, all of the texture work, if you're doing all the rigging, the special effects, if you're doing all the editing, the marketing, if you're doing everything yourself, it's still going to cost you almost $100,000 if you're making a high quality game. It can cost you significantly less. It's all depending on what you're doing and how much time you're giving yourself and what software you're using. If you're using all free software, like let's say you're using Unreal Engine for the programming platform and the gaming engine. Let's say you're using C# for the language and for the programming language. Let's say you're using Blender for the 3D modeling. What's a free software for GIMP? Let's say you're using GIMP to make the textures. Please don't use GIMP to make textures. Let's say you're using all free software. At that point, the game's going to still cost you time and whatever amount of money you're going to put into marketing. Marketing is where there's pretty much no such thing as free marketing because you give up something. It's not always money. Like if you ask sometimes you'll get lucky and like a larger YouTuber will want to check it out. But if we're talking like marketing you can control, it's still going to cost you something to a degree. And you can do as much as you want on like advertising it on social media. You can go on Discords. You can go on Twitter, different Twitter accounts, and advertise the game. But a lot of people are going to recognize it as an advertisement and shrug it off. So then there goes to YouTube ads. You can pay to have a YouTube ad slot, which will cost you a pretty penny as well. At some point, you're going to have to put money into the project, is what I'm saying, for any game in development. But here's the thing. I've seen indie developers put together some of the most amazing games for shit budgets. Like the budget of like 2 Happy Meals, and they put together a game that is fucking awesome. I've seen that.
I just looked up.
How the fuck do you not make a masterpiece with millions of dollars given to you? And hold it out for years and years on end? That boggles my mind.
Squadron 42 is the single-player aspect of Star Citizen, and it was first mentioned in 2012, was initially due to launch in 2014. The latest estimate for a beta is the second half of 2020, but no date has been set for a full release. The roadmap suggests that the window is subject to change. and many of the roadmap milestones penciled in for the second half of last year have been missed. So probably about another 5 years. I don't know.
It's been in development for a very long fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
And for the amount of money that they were given, they should have had something by now. I honestly think people should stop giving them money. Because anybody who's holding on to that dream of Star Citizen coming out, drop it. Especially if you've given a shit ton of money. Just stop. It pisses me off to see that this game that was promised, and with how big the promise was, that with all the money it's received, it's done nothing. It's done nothing as of yet. It's just delay, lays around. Again, I've seen people with tiny as shit teams get some amazing games out with budgets of like a couple Happy Meals. Yet they can't get a solid game out in, what did you say, 5-6 years?
It was initially to release in 2014.
Okay, when did they start development, though?
It was first mentioned in 2012, so probably before that.
Let's estimate 2000, because I wouldn't recommend saying your game even exists before the first year of development's underway. So
2010, 2011.
2011. So that's over 9 years. That's, if we're going all the way back to 2010, that's a decade. And they have nothing? Stop giving them money. Fuck that. Because that makes me mad. That just makes me mad.
I'm gonna be so nice right now. It's not funny.
It's not funny. 10 years of development.
I agree with you.
10 years of development. Having worked as an indie dev, I could tell you it does not take 10 years, especially with a budget of over millions of dollars. I don't care what the fuck their excuse is. 10 years? Bullshit. They're not working on it.
Or at least if they are, they're literally just dragging their feet intentionally.
They're working maybe 2 hours a day, and they're allowing all of their team to work as much as they want and still get full pay. And if that's the case, they're just stupid.
Yeah.
But it makes me genuinely mad to see that, because I've worked my ass off in terms of my indie development experience. I worked my ass off every day. I had to put up with a lot of crap. It was a lot of stress. I spent a lot of my own money, and the project failed. But we made headway in the 2 years we started development, took a break, and got back on product. We were working our asses off. If we had been working 24/7 on it, like what millions of dollars of a budget would have allowed them to do, they should have had something within the first 3 to 4 years. I don't care how big the game project or idea is. In 3 to 4 years, they should have had something. A beta. A fucking initial release even within 4 years. The fact that they had nothing is an absolute insult to the gaming industry and to the indie development industry for sure. It's a flat insult to it, and it pisses me off. But moving on from that dumbass shit. Alright, so the next topic was mine, right? Then we'll...
Yes.
Alright. So my next one is Blizzard... speaking of topics that might piss us all off. Blizzard employees share their salaries to protest ridiculous executive pay.
Oh, so, look, we're back on Blizzard.
Oh, yeah. This is where things get fucking ridiculous. So, have you heard about this?
I have.
Okay, good. So, the thing is, when I heard about this kind of hurt. This hit close to home, because when I was finishing up high school and when I was doing my 2 years of my 2-year college level adult game development course in the vocational school I was attending alongside high school, which, by the way, it's, you know how hard it is to do a college level course and still keep up with your high school courses?
Yes and no. Mine was a college course, but not. I was in junior RTC.
I was in junior ROTC as well when I was in Kentucky the 1 year I lived there. But when I moved back here, there was no ROTC to transfer to. But I only did the 1 year of ROTC.
The way our school did it was normally it's done in 4 years. We did it in 2.
Always like to break records.
Hey,
but for those who
Virginia.
yeah, for those who don't know, ROTC is Reserve Officer Training Corps. It's for the military.
Yeah, and
each branch of the military has their own ROTC. I did AROTC, Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps. But that's because it was the only one available.
Ours was Army.
Yeah. So you were also AR. You guys were. Yeah, I think that's a broken system because we were AROTC, which is Air Force ROTC, but you guys must have also been AROTC. Unless there's
AF.
It might have been AF. I might still have one of the course papers lying around here. But yeah, the point is, ROTC aside though, when I moved back here for the rest of my high school years, I got signed up for a college level course, which even got college credits, by the way. So if I chose to go to college in state, I could transfer those college credits I earned in my vocational school to whatever college course, even if it was an unrelated college course, I could still transfer the credits. But I had to do that college level course, which was 4 hours each day. I had to go early in the morning, and then when we were done there at the vocational school, we had to return back to our high schools and for the rest of the day do our regular classes. So, and then in the afternoon, I went to do my job, which I worked at a grocery store. So I was if you include both courses, I was working, and because I consider the whole thing a lot of work. So from the college course to the high school course to my job, I was probably working around. Let's see. So started around 6 a.m. and I got out of my job around 9 p.m. 8 p.m. So
14 hours.
Yeah, 14 hours. So yeah, I had 14 hours of my day were reserved. And some weekends we were actually pulled into our college level course as well if we were like behind certain things to catch up. So it was a lot of stress. But the point is, I did that, and that was a game development course. And how it relates to this is my dream was to work for Blizzard. That was my dream from when I was a little kid playing Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft. I was like, oh my god, I love these games. I would love to work. I would love to work on this stuff. I would love to develop my own game and to work with Blizzard and help them make World of Warcraft much cooler. Or I would love to develop the next 3D models of characters and weapons and scenery for the next great Blizzard game. That was a dream as a kid, was to work for Blizzard. That was my dream.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks so much to see like that dream get crumpled up in my face and spat in my face when I see this stuff. When I see the corporate greed, when I see the employees getting treated like shit, when I see the quality of expansions and games and stories coming out, it's such a night and day from what I saw as a kid to now. Quite exponentially shitty.
Absolutely agree, because I actually thought that would be cool at 1.2 would be working exactly for Blizzard, because I've told you I was big into StarCraft when it first came out. I was big into the first Warcraft. I was big into the first Diablo. You know, I've been with Blizzard since essentially the beginning, and it's like they get fucked.
Yeah, Jorge just said, "Oh, sweet summer child, Blizzard is gone. Activision devoured them." Yep. Blizzard is gone. And yeah, you've been with it since the beginning. I've been with Blizzard since my beginning, at the very least. And it just pisses me off to see shit like this. But for those of you who don't know, the gist of the story is, I'm not going to read the whole article because I'm just going to smash my head at some point. So essentially what's been going on is recently Blizzard hired back a CEO or CFO, something like that, and gave him a golden handshake, which is basically when they welcome you to the company, they give you like a welcome package. And they paid him like over $11 million, something like that, of like an express pay. And then that same year, not too long afterwards, hey, Murder Skin, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast. Not too long after that, they laid off, like, what was it, 800 employees? 800, 900 employees across their entire workforce?
That was closer to 1,000, but it might have been 800.
Yeah, I think it was around 800. And they fired a ton of people across all of their divisions. And the thing is, the excuse they gave when the public pointed out to them, like, hey, you had a record profit year. You made the most amount of money the company's ever made this year. Why the fuck did you just fire 800 people? And not too long ago, you hired somebody for fucking $11 million of express pay to hire him. Not to mention probably a massive salary. Not to mention the CEO, Bobby Kotick, I believe is his name. He's been, I think he's in the top 5 overpaid CEOs list of all time. Yet you're making record money and you fire 800 people. How does that make any sense? Oh, we made record amount of money this year. You're all fired. Well, we did our jobs well. Yes, you did, but we got to milk every ounce of money left, so fuck off.
Essentially, that's what they did.
And Bobby Kotick's, meanwhile, counting the millions of fucking dollars he makes a day. And this new guy that they brought on board, he's probably, with his golden handshake and his salary, he's probably making millions every day. But yet, all of these employees that they fired got fucked off. And I thought that was bad as it was, but I was like, okay. But at least the people who are still there, this was the excuse. It wasn't an excuse. I still thought it was all shitty. But at least in my mind, I reasoned, okay, well, hopefully at least the people who are still there are getting good pay. Maybe they got a bonus or something after all this shit went down. And it turns out, no. Quite a few of the people are actually making shitty salaries. Like, really bare bones. Some people are working for minimum wage for the company.
Yeah.
Which, like...
It's ridiculous. It is.
It blew my brain. Like, I was like, what? You can afford to pay your CEO millions of dollars, probably a day. You were able to afford giving a golden handshake to that. Again, I don't know if he was a CFO, if he was supposed to be some executive officer or some kind of marketing lead, whatever the fuck. He got paid $1 million he got $11 million for his golden handshake. Welcome to the company. And they fired 800 people, and they're still paying the employees they have so little. Like, this blows my mind.
I cannot explain that to you. I absolutely hate that. I really do. It's greed through and through.
It's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, let's cut every expense possible so we can continue to pay the people at the top of the company the most. That's ridiculous. That's beyond greed. And the thing is, I hate unions. I do, because the thing is, when a union starts, it's at its best. But as time goes on, the unions get more and more just like, okay, we just want our union dues. We don't give a shit about actually helping the workers. But the thing is, I would support the gaming industry unionizing if it ends this shit, because this is stupid. This is beyond ridiculous. And the thing is, I wouldn't even call this like capitalistic, like profit. Like, this is like, this is beyond any kind of. I have a loss of words. This isn't. This is just ridiculous.
It's beyond all logic and sense.
What the fuck does Bobby Kotick plan to do with all that money he's shoving in his pockets every day? What the fuck is that marketing lead gonna do with all the money he has? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just, why would you want that much money? I get wanting to have a ton of money, and I get that most people, if they had the option to be in these positions, but I don't understand that. I certainly want money. Everyone does. So, but it's not unreasonable to say there is a point where you have too much. If you have so much money that if you went and bought like 30 sports cars and it barely did a dent in your budget, I think there's room for people to say that you have a little much. Like, this is ridiculous.
I mean, I'm okay for people earning money based on what they do. I'm cool with that. I think that's where it's gotten out of hand is like in situations like that. I think they overvalue those positions.
They really do. Because the thing is, you can pay these big-time like CEOs and give them all the credit for a company making all its money. The truth is, it's not the CEO does essentially jack shit.
Yeah.
They manage the company, and that's not an easy job to do. But when you think about it, what's harder? Developing the programs and models and characters and stories all collectively, or just managing people's pays and salaries? And making sure they come to work on time. That's all the managers do, and the CEO doesn't even do that. He just basically reads progress reports to the shareholders.
Essentially, yeah.
The thing is, the beauty though of living in a capitalist system is I really hope that these employees all quit, because there's got to be a better. A lot of these people, think about all these experienced devs going into indie development, starting their own companies.
Oh yeah.
What? You
Praise
kidding me?
be
They'll
to you,
blow.
mighty donator.
They'll blow. They'll blow the hell. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nathan. Jeez, man, that's generous as fuck. Jesus. Don't know what Bobby is gonna do with his money, but use this money however you want. Well, part of it's going towards Ludus, part of it's going to me. I plan to use it to develop. Again, every penny I'm making, I'm going to be putting to a degree into my tabletop Grimdark project.
And I plan on spending mine on probably smaller bills, or at least better games to make my channel more favorable.
Yeah, but thank you so much,
Holy
Nathan.
shit,
that was very generous of you. Thank you very much, man.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have no words. Like we were getting on this really negative roller coaster, and then you come in here and you're like, these two seem down and seem like they're getting pissed. Here's money. So holy shit, dude, that was just
that was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. You are the MVP, for sure. Oh, here's a wrench. I don't know. I got nothing.
You're an MVP. Here's a wrench.
Just
whatever you do, don't say you should be afraid that I have the power now. That is the
just
quickest way
don't
to get your wrench taken away.
Yeah, don't pull a deer girl. Don't pull a deer girl.
I love that we can laugh at that and not have to change any of the facts out of it.
Nope. Oh god. But yeah, that does it for that. Really much just does it. It's really disappointing to see. I really again, I don't like unions. My experience with working in a union, it was very negative. But if they do unionize, I hope it does what it's meant to do, which is get the company to pay people what they're worth. I hope that happens exponentially. I really do. But at the end of the day, whatever happens is going to happen. My recommendation would be just for these devs to quit. Either find a new company to work with or work for, or start your own indie developments, because you guys have massive experience. Hopefully you've saved enough money aside that you could probably afford the same softwares you're using right now for the company, and you could develop something in a very, not a very short amount of time, but in a very efficient way. And you can be your own bosses, and you could probably develop amazing projects that people will definitely play over Blizzard's current stuff. So that would be my recommendation. If a large group of you got together and decided, especially if you have any free time, which according to what I've read through a lot of this stuff, there's a lot of overtime abuse as well, which is shitty to see. But I would definitely recommend, if any Blizzard devs see this, please go into indie development. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. But I am done talking about this one. You got anything you want to finish off on when it comes to this?
Not really. I mean, I've already said all I really can. I mean, it's just, it's fucking shitty. I agree with you. I hope they go into, like, indie or something like that and just do better than Blizzard.
Yeah, and they would. The thing is, they're the people who make Blizzard as good as they are now, and they lose them, they're fucked.
Yep.
But yep, that's on. Now we're on to your last topic in terms of articles I saw anyway.
Yes. So this one is also tied into my my secret news, my secret special news. So this is something I thought was cool. I'm honestly not a big fan of Riot Games, but this, I mean, even though I don't like any of their games, you know, this was the coolest thing for me. They're giving all of their employees the week off this coming up week, the 10th through the 14th. So I thought that was cool, and the reason they're given for doing it is essentially everyone's under a crunch. They're getting really stressed out. So you know what? We're going to take a week, go and step back, let everyone do what they need to do, and then we'll come back to it. So I thought that was pretty fucking awesome of them.
I'm surprised to see this, but are they paying them this week off?
There was no information on that. I honestly, I'm gonna bet no, except for the salaried people, and I don't know how many of them are salaried.
So if they're not paying them, it's not really a week off. They're just laying everybody off for a week.
Yeah. I mean, it is, they're letting them step away from, because one thing I saw on this and in another article is that, you know, the workers were getting really stressed and really, like I said, where everything was coming down to crunch time, and a lot of people were getting burnt out. And, you know, so even if they, because it's also saying in this specific article that to make sure the games stay up and stay well maintained, there'll be, you know, some rotations. So for that, I think that's honestly kind of cool. Even that way, it does prevent them from getting burnt out and does prevent a lot of unnecessary stress.
I agree. I don't know. But I do question not paying their employees that week off, but at the same time, I know where I worked when I was a designer for the Navy for warships, that same yard has a strike going on right now due to like a union contract thing. I won't give my opinions on the strike or whether it's justified. I no longer work there. I was working there when they decided to strike, but I quit just as the strikes were about to happen. So, but I won't comment on the reasoning or anything like that. But what I will say is, during my time there, during the COVID crisis, we were essentially given the option to not come to work. We weren't laid off. The thing is, if we chose not to come to work during a certain period of time they gave us, which was 2 to 3 weeks, they would not pay us those days, but they wouldn't hold it against us either.
Right.
So that being said, if that's what they're doing with this, if they're giving them the option to not come out, but they're still allowed to come in, that'd be better. Because for the people who need to make ends meet and need to get paid every day, I hope they have that option. But if they're like, hey, nobody comes in for a week, and none of you are getting paid for a week, I think I'd see this as more as a negative, personally, because a lot of people can't afford to not work for a week.
I absolutely agree with that, especially now during COVID when everything's getting stretched really thin.
Yeah. So hopefully the way this week off works is it's more like an optional thing, or at the very least, if it's not optional, they pay the people who are out. But if that's not the case and it's just like everybody can't come in for a week, there's a lot of people who will probably suffer because of this. I don't know. It'll all depend on the inner workings. It doesn't say anywhere in here how the system is going to work.
And I really don't expect them to put how the inner workings are going to be out there.
No, I wouldn't either. It's more of a private company thing. But I assume one of the devs would say something publicly, or at least attempt to anonymously, saying like if this is more of a punishment of sorts, or unintentional or not. But hopefully it works more like how the company I work, how it works more like the shipyard I worked for works, where it's you can take the week off and not get paid, or you can come in. It's your option, but we won't hold it against you, whichever you choose to do. If that's how it's working, that'd be a perfectly fine system. I'd support that. If it's more like we're closing the doors for a week, that's gonna get complicated. Wait, Jorge, you didn't know that that's what I did for a living? I swear I told like everybody I see on the streams regularly before. Yeah, for a living, right out of high school, I worked as a designer for the Navy, designing warships, specifically the DDG-51 destroyers. That was my specialty.
So now for the secret surprise news.
All right.
So normally you host all the streams. I'm actually attempting to host a stream on the 10th. And right now it'll be at 12 p.m. on my channel, and I've already got Kibbs and Arch both saying they're both going to try and make it, and Aspegon, I want you there too.
Wait, that's a surprise.
When you hear the reason.
Okay.
August 10th, I'm doing essentially a thank you to the 3 biggest YouTubers who have helped me along the way. And I'm doing it as a birthday present to myself.
All right.
August 10th is my actual birthday.
Okay, so August 10th you said, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's Monday.
Yes.
All right.
I had to look over. I just looked over it like 5 minutes ago and forgot.
Yeah, I can make it.
Yeah, because I thought that would be something really cool. Because I'm one of those people. I don't like my birthday being all about me. So instead of doing that, I'm going to say, like I said, I'm going to say thank you and explain how the 3 of y'all have helped me along the way.
You helped yourself a lot. I just brought people's attention to you, or tried to.
well, no, because you're honestly. You were one of the first YouTubers to honestly give me a chance, and you invited me to do the podcast, and you know, you've done a lot of things to help me out, and you've been a really awesome dude to be around. So I would be very remiss if I did it and not had you in it.
Well, yeah, I'm perfectly willing to hop in, and yeah, but I think in a lot of ways this I didn't do anything I wouldn't have done anyway. And I'm more appreciative.
Being a good person.
I'm more appreciative that you were willing to do podcasts with me.
You make it seem like I'm interesting. That's just a lie.
Well, you are.
And yes, Murderous Kitten, I am in fact a Leo. It's funny because 3 days ago on the 2nd was my dad's birthday as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And I did a stream on the 1st that saying happy birthday to him as well. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so that is my super secret surprise was that I'm trying to set up a stream and it's essentially going to be you, Arch, and Kibbs, and probably not Myrain, because Myrain asked if she could be a part of it as well. And the reason is because we're probably going to be doing it on Kibbs' server. Or on his Discord server, at least. So,
makes sense.
Because neither Kibbs nor Arch are on my Discord server. So it'd either have to be on Arch's or Kibbs, or they'd be like, no, come to this one, or some shit like that. They'll tell me what to do when they need me to do it.
Yeah, I do YouTube and stuff full time, so I can definitely be there on Monday.
Yeah, I didn't know how your schedule was looking, and I know you've been busy the past few days, so I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till the podcast. that way I know I'm already talking to it.
I'm busy every day. I'm self-employed, for the most part. Yeah, I'll definitely be there. We still doing our podcast that week, or do you want to take that week off?
No, I still plan on doing all the streams. So I'm essentially, the video I normally do on Tuesdays is Final Fantasy VII. I'm replacing that with that stream. I'll still do the podcast community event and the stream that Saturday. But other than that, and to give you an idea about how hard I have been working, I'm actually about a day or two behind now. I have to look again. On the 2nd, I believe, this past Sunday, I recorded 8 gameplay videos.
I just do gameplay live at this point.
And well, I record them ahead of time and then release them all separately. And I've still got 2 lore videos to do. And I'm in the process of researching and scripting those. So I've got 8 out of 10 videos done that I need to do for the week of the 10th and the 17th. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's also part of the reason why I look so damn tired, is because in addition to not getting very much sleep last night, I haven't gotten much sleep for the past 2 days. So.
Yeah, I get you there. I don't do much of the sleeping these days anymore.
Sleep is overrated. I'll sleep when I die.
I'll sleep when I die.
But yeah, so I thought that would at least be a cool way for me to show
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I mean, you could have waited. You could have waited 5 more days, but thank you.
Yeah. I do things ahead of the curb.
But no, I mean, it's my way of showing appreciation because, again, like I said, I'm not, like, for me, my birthday is just another day of the year. And I always try and do more for other people than myself anyway. And this is just a really good way of me being able to show my appreciation and love for the people that have been kind enough to help me through some pretty bad shit.
Hey, you've helped us through plenty of bad shit too. So it's give and take. It's give and take, man.
I did love our conversation last night about the power outage, and me and my mom were talking about it. And it's like, maybe it's because we're from Virginia and he's from Maine. No, yeah.
I don't know. Power outages here are really, really common. I mean, you can't really, even in the cities, lots of families have 2, 3, 4 generators.
Oh, here it's like the end of the world. It's amazing.
It's not
chaos
the
is a ladder.
If we run out of food, I know how to hunt, set up traps. Not to mention we have chickens. Again, we have generators. If power's going out, plenty of spare fuel, kerosene, whatever we need to keep the generators running. Not to mention my dad's an electrician, and I've learned a lot from him over the years. So if the generators ever break, me and him usually know what to look for to see if we need to fix them. And not just hunting, but we have a local well we use, a water reservoir that's unique to our property, so we're not connected to a city main line of water. Everybody in Maine's got their own procedure, pretty much.
And I want to point this out earlier. I didn't say it at the time, but Greg pointed this out, and I'm glad he pointed it out. That poster behind me is The Darkness 2. And I love that game. And those are actually my favorite types of games, where the hero character is more of like an anti-hero with a literal inner demon. Because unfortunately, that's who I relate to a lot. And that's honestly one of my favorite games ever. The Darkness and Darkness 2 are just absolutely amazing.
I have never played them.
They are really damn awesome. I recommend them. If you're a massive masochist, play the first one.
Geekus Theoreticus podcast.
But if you want to play it just for the story, just play the second one. The first one is much harder.
Yeah, I haven't played them, but I'll check them out if they're on Steam. I'll see what kind of games they are.
I don't know if it's Steam, honestly. I
Oh.
doubt they are on.
Are they that old? Are they that old of games that they're not on PC?
I just don't think they're on PC. Period.
I'll look for them somewhere. For things to play them on. I only have the PlayStation 4 and my PC.
Okay, so The Darkness 2 is on Steam
Okay.
for $38.
The Darkness 2.
I don't see The Darkness 1, so.
The Darkness. It's very itchy.
And I will. Oh no, it is very edgy. I'm gonna be right back because I have to de-stress real quick.
All right, so it's an FPS.
Yeah.
Definitely an edgelord's game. God damn it. Huh. Well. Whoops. I'm all over the place. There we go. Oh, damn. Don't hurt the chickens. They are decent people. No, they're not. They're annoying and loud and obnoxious. But at least they eat the maggots. And unfortunately, they are now just making Warframe. Wait, what? Digital Extremes? Yeah, they've only been making that for a while now. Unfortunately. And the thing is, I pretty much am done with Warframe. It's just... At this point, the only part of the game people play for is Fashion Frame, and I'm not big in, like, oh, I want to customize my Warframes. Oh, yeah. That's fun for a little bit, but I want better game modes, I want more, like, late-game stuff, which there isn't a lot of late-game stuff to play that's interesting or fun. So, unfortunately, I'm not too much into Warframe these days anymore. It's really lost me. It's lost me and a lot of the veteran players, unfortunately.
Oh, and by the way, you might get a kick out of this. We were talking about edgy earlier. The way you level up your powers in The Darkness and The Darkness 2 is by eating people's hearts.
Yeah, Moraine just said, Asmongon, you can eat me if you want. Well, thing is, I have a size requirement. Okay? Yeah, if you're smaller than 4 inches, sorry, I can't eat you. You're just too small of a bite. I don't do snack size.
Good, because my reign doesn't have any inches.
What, not even the nipples?
Oh, that is true. I didn't think of that. Oh.
Sorry, I'm evil. Again, most of my humor is sexual, so inherently.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. She is notorious for that on my Discord.
Oh, my back. Yes, I know, Moraine, but it's still the joke about eating is usually in the gay sense. At least that's what I see for sexual humor. Yes, but I know you're a girl. I believe we talked before, didn't we? On your Discord?
Yes.
I believe so.
Because I believe I did a...
Yeah, well, that was during your StarCraft community event, right? Yeah, yep. We talked there.
Which I am doing that again today because I am exhausted, and me and the guy who helps me with my community events, I was like, I need an easy game. What would be easy and relaxing for us? He's like, how about StarCraft 2 co-op? Like, okay, people kind of enjoy that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was losing energy towards the end of that community event.
Sorry.
No. It was just late at night.
I get it.
Sexual humor? Wait, that's illegal. No, it's not. And if it is, lick my balls. Suck my balls, Mr. Garrison. Downside with growing up with South Park is a lot of your humor's influenced by it.
And the Glad VE said, sorry for the abrupt leaving. No worries.
Yep, no biggie. You're not chained here. There's no you gotta stay on the podcast. God damn it.
No, I am.
No requirement for that.
No, I am. This is secretly his basement. Help! Send help!
You will not escape. Now the studded dildo.
Oh, you gotta do better than that.
It's razor studded. Not lubricated.
Okay, now we're talking.
Jinja Ninja says, says this to me. I'll just steal your soul and eat it without your consent. By eat it, are we talking about Moraine?
No, he's talking about your soul.
Oh, just eat my soul?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my soul is non-existent. As you can tell from the ginger beard, not there. Apologies. Oh, hey, Ball. I just noticed Ball entered the chat. Hey, man, you're joining in at both an awkward and interesting time. Too bad it sounds kinky. I am a kinky human being. Moraine says, razors studded with lube? Without lube? Pff, easy mode. I like your style. I do all like humor aside though. I do enjoy that there's so many people who have a similar humor to me that join my streams. Like, it's not often I get jokingly hit on during streams. Oh god, I love it.
Or is it a joke, or are you actually getting hit on? Nobody knows, and that's.
I'm not getting hit on. No way. I'm not that. No, I'm not that guy. No. I have a weird haircut. I'm larger than the average dude. The only thing I got going for me is I'm slightly above average height. So no, I wouldn't believe for a second people are hitting on me. Oh, I don't believe it. It's a lie.
This is why I'm glad I've been with my wife for 10 years and I'm already married.
Me, I got PTSD, so there's that problem.
Me, I got beat with the ugly tree.
Yeah, and the thing is, you already missed those PTSD stories, but Nathan heard those stories. I think Murderous Kitten was there. Ball might have been there during. Yeah, I recounted why I'm currently not dating and not looking to date anytime soon. Got a little bit of PTSD. In short, my ex broke my ribs with a bat and pushed me down a flight of stairs, and she also hit me with her high heels, and she sent me to the emergency room on numerous occasions, and yeah, that's the short version. So, unfortunately, but yeah, that's the downside.
But that doesn't
I'm a
happen
bit scarred. What do you mean?
Women abusing men in relationships.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I have heard that too many times. I'm like, you got me. That's gonna make me fucking throw up.
Yeah, every time I hear that, it makes me want to throw up because not from my experience. No, but yeah, I'm a bit hazardous about. The thing is, a buddy of mine keeps trying me to go on blind dates with like his friends. He's like, "Hey, I got this girl who works with me. She's really nice. She's not aggressive in any way. You know, you're good. Just go check. You know, just go on this date with her. You'll be fine." And I don't do it. I'll tell him like, "Yeah, set it up," and then I don't go. I feel bad. I do feel bad in the back of my head for the girls he's probably set up for these blind dates because they probably went and expected me to show up and didn't. I oftentimes will try and like leave. Like I'll try and find out who he was trying to set me up with, and I'll send like an apology. But for the most part, yeah, I'm hazardous.
In 10 years, if I'm still doing YouTube, I'm going to use that fucking joke. I need to write it down to make sure I do.
Okay. But yeah, I got a wee bit of PTSD. A wee bit of it. The one blind date I did go on, she dropped her bag. And I heard a thud, and I jumped out of my chair. I didn't even know that would spook me either, but it did. So, just a little bit of, you know, I was a little bit more on edge than I realized.
To share my horror story, my dad always had a habit of tormenting the fuck out of me as a small kid. And So now I have heart palpitations, and I'm like the jumpiest motherfucker in the world. That's why I think Metro Exodus is going to be very successful.
Because you're jumpy?
Because I looted a corpse, and it just fell over, and I freaked the fuck out.
I still gotta watch your playthroughs. I haven't done that, though, because... The thing is, I just finished the Wings of Liberty playthrough. I'm gonna move on to the Heart of the Swarm either this week or next. But for the Total War Warhammer 2 slot of my live streamings, I'm thinking about switching that with another game. So I'm thinking about putting up the first Metro game, and I might play through those during that time slot.
You don't have to watch it. I'm not that much of a dick. I'm not going to be like, you have to watch it.
No, I want to. It's just that thing is, I rarely watch videos these days. It's more like I listen to them while doing other stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I exactly get that. Like the right now, I'm going through 2 series. I'm going through Arch, and both of them are by Arch, honestly. It's his new RimWorld series or his Teach of Rex series.
Sorry, let's catch up with the chat. I think people have been chatting.
Me and my wife were happy for 20 years, then we met. Rodney Dangerfield. I love Rodney.
Jorge says, and that's why Azagon flirts with Slanesh, no soul to take. Okay, that must have been earlier. Moraine says, I love me some cactus for enjoyment. I like your style.
I love that meme.
Is that the Avatar meme, or is it the one like the cactus dildo?
Yeah, it's the cactus dildo meme.
Okay.
It's everything's a dildo if you're brave enough, and it's her holding.
There's a whole subreddit about those. Like,
yeah,
there's a whole subreddit of just those memes. I feel the need for a flamer, a heavy flamer, says Ball. Flamers. And Ginger Ninja says, this is to me, you're not a full ginger, so I will not apologize for doing what I'm born to do, that is stealing souls, even partial ones. Yeah, well, I think as I have more of a beard than I have hair on my head. Well, I have plenty of hair on my head, but the beard's more uniform. So, I'd say I'm more ginger than not.
We could always go best 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Marine says, large dudes are great, prefer soft cuddles over hugging a bag of bricks. Well, I will say this, my hugs are cuddly. I believe. I at least enjoy hugs. That's me, though. Okay. So I think this, because the next one's Damn, Ludus, Sad Face. I think this is like where people were catching up with my PTSD story, which isn't even the full detailed story. I went into full detail during a group live stream. Well, actually, no, I talked about it again on a group's live stream, but during a StarCraft 2 live stream, I believe, one of the earlier ones, I went into pretty decent detail about my bad experience with my ex. And you guys are free to go seek that out if you want to hear that story, but the basic version I gave you was probably more than you need. Moraine says, the ex of yours is a crazy bitch. That's putting it lightly. The thing is that scarred me the most was after she hit me with the bat, and I came back from the ER, and I went to hang out at her apartment again and just say hello and just ask her, like, why the fuck did you do that? I wanted to have a sit-down conversation with her and just talk to her about how violent she was being, and that I wanted to confirm with her that she realized what she was doing was assault, and she was attacking me, and I could call the cops. And she looked me dead in the eye, and with no hesitation in her voice whatsoever, she told me, go ahead and tell them. Who's going to believe you? She says, she said something along the lines of, I'm 5'1", you're 5'11", I'm a string bean, you have muscle. Are they gonna believe for half a second I sent you to the AR? And then she just walked away. It was cool. It was cool and calculated. It was really bad. And for me, that's when I told her we were done. And she looked so angry about it, but at least she didn't attack me then. But she said, "Fine, fuck off," and I did. I fucked off. And I haven't talked to her since. I met her. I knew her ex, her now ex. I found that out recently. But when he was getting in a relationship with her, he texted me and said, like, I'm going to be better than you were. Like, apparently she was talking shit about me. And I said, have fun. And I saw him in the grocery store like a month ago. And he had a giant black eye. And I knew who gave it to him. I didn't even have to ask. I knew exactly who gave it to him. He looked at me and he recognized me. And I saw it in his eyes. He was like, I know. I'm like, yep. We didn't even talk. Didn't have to.
Now, let me correct something. I'm not laughing because I think domestic violence is funny. I'm laughing because it's just, I have seen situations like that. I haven't been in situations like that, but I've seen situations like that.
It's not good to be in them, let me tell you.
Yeah, where one person gets with someone and they're really, really abusive.
I think the worst part is the excuses I made for her, like in my own head. But like, oh, yeah. she just has these bad moments, but when she's nice, she's so nice and warm and gentle. You know, I constantly made excuses, but when things went south, it was like a flip of a coin. It was so quick, and it was a bad experience. I won't get into it. I don't need to cry on stream or anything like that. Fuck that. Sounds like bait. What sounds like bait, Jorge? He screamed like a little schoolgirl. Who did? Okay, I might have missed what this comment was. Hi there, Asmo and Ludus. Work quota for today done. Hi, chat. Hey, so welcome to the stream. Thank you for hopping in. Asgon, beware of non-aggressive women. Beware of non-aggressive women. They're more aggressive than actual aggressive women. Like, it's like saying Catholic porn stars. I'm confused.
Yeah,
do you mean like beware of like outwardly non-aggressive women? Because that's I'm confused. Like, beware of non-aggressive women. Well, if they're non-aggressive, they're non-aggressive. Do you really mean outwardly non-aggressive because they're more aggressive in the background? Or yeah, I'm a little confused on that one. Nathan says hugs are best, universally loved. Yeah, I love hugs. Hugs are great.
Who doesn't like hugs?
Yeah. See, I'm trying to catch up with the podcast all the way down. I read somewhere if the world recognized the woman that. I assume that you meant to say that women can be evil, the world would be a better place. I think the thing is, most logical people know that anyone can be evil. It's only the crazies who are like, "Oh, women can't ever do anything wrong." So only the idiots or crazies think that, and thank God they're in the minority. Though, if you go on Twitter, you would think they were the majority. Yeesh, that's bad, but the cops might turn out to be on your side in this situation. No. I never reported it, so even if I tried to now, probably wouldn't. I don't know what the laws are in terms of statute of limitations of assault, but I have no proof other than I went to the hospital and that I was dating her at the time. But that's not enough. And in the U.S. in particular, prosecution for domestic violence in particular, men to women, is virtually non-existent. It just doesn't work. People generally don't believe the guy, unfortunately. So it would be a waste of my time if I tried. And plus, I've done my best to move on in the subsequent years. It's been 2 years now.
Statute of limitations for battery, I believe, is like 2 to 5 years. So if it would be, they would essentially tell you like, well, why didn't you come sooner?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna bother. I got out of the relationship. I ain't dead, so. Beware of women who claim to be non-aggressive. And I think if she feels the need to point it out, then that's probably a hint. That's usually a hint. It's like, by the way, I'm totally not aggressive. Okay, I'm stepping up and walking away. 'Cause if you feel the need to point that out, you are.
I'm not aggressive. I just file my teeth into points for fun.
Oh my god.
I'm going to start walking very slowly in the other direction, backwards.
I think he meant the manipulative women versus aggressive women.
Also, real quick, I want to give Nathan X2000 a shout out. He went on to my Streamlabs and sent me a 25-pound birthday present. That was awesome, dude.
Nice. Thank you very much, Nathan. Good job.
Yeah.
You awesome. You awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, that
you create the most horrifying images I can think of, but by God, you're an awesome dude.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty awesome. So, really, thank you, man. That really does mean a lot.
Yeah. Anybody that says women can't be evil, just tell them to look up the hyena of Auschwitz.
I want to, but I don't want to at the same time.
I don't want to either. Marine says America's justice system is whack. It really is.
It is.
Especially if it's male to female, it's really fucked up. Because women if we look at a man who's being convicted of the same crime as a woman, oftentimes men will get harsher sentences, longer sentences, and usually more severe action. Women, in terms of women who've been on death row, for example, I think, has there even been any? I think there's been like one woman.
No, there've been a few.
In U.S. history is what I'm talking about.
I have a feeling the FBI is going to come knocking on my door because I'm literally about ready to Google how many women have been on death row.
I don't know. All I know is that in the America, especially nowadays at the very least, typically when women are convicted of the same crime as a man, the sentences are less harsh, less long, and usually they're in lower security prisons more often of the time.
Are you ready for the number?
Yeah.
There are 54 condemned women in the United States as of October 2017.
Okay, so there are actually a lot more than I was thinking.
And since 1973, 181 between 1973 and October 2017, 181 women have been sentenced to death in the United States.
All right, can you look up the male statistics for comparison?
That's about 54 is about 2%. So,
like, women are the 2% and men are the 54. Okay, so
that'd be about
a couple, like almost 10,000 men to the couple hundred women.
Let me do that real quick. 2,700 approximately.
Damn. Well, point is, typically, yeah, that's how the America's justice system works. It's very screwed. But I'm not going to get into that. I already did more than I had planned. Yeah, the courts would not be on my side either. Cops, courts, again, male versus female, it's just a done case. I talked to my friends about it, and all my male friends, when I told them, thing is, it took me 6 months to confess to anybody all this happened in our relationship, because my friends were always wondering why I was in the ER pretty much every week, and it's kind of hard to come up with excuses. It's like, oh, I took up sports, and oh, I took up rugby, some shit like that. But, yeah, we were all hanging out one day, and I just told my friends, and I asked them pretty plainly, should I do something? Almost all of them unanimously said, you'd lose.
Kind of weird rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's been a weird rabbit hole.
Oh, no, I followed up that Google search because this was underneath of it. How many women have been executed from the death penalty? That was a weird rabbit hole. And it even said... I am now very...
now Ludus is just like, now I'm just curious. The only TM when I can be aggressive is when I'm in bed with someone. I respect that. Next time you get aggressive girlfriend, thanks for condemning me to have that happen again. Call me. I have a long list of things to do to people to make them stop. Well, the thing is, I don't want to go to jail. He was begging for his niece to be left alone. As much as I feel bad for what you went through, I hear stories about that all the time, which in a way makes me glad I'm single. Yeah, that's why I'm single right now. I'm happy to not be in a relationship at the moment. Maybe if I meet that right girl who's not a psychopath, maybe I'll change my mind, but as of right now, I'm just kind of on edge about it. Don't do it. She is really evil, and nobody uses her as an example for violence from back then. Oh, you mean the hyena of Auschwitz? Okay, I'm not looking that up.
Son of a bitch, I have to now.
Oh fuck. We've been on this topic much longer than I intended. Yeah, I just want to end the topic. In summary, I got my issues. Everybody's got their issues. Not a big deal. I'm sure there's plenty of people who have similar stories to me, and probably worse stories. So, I got out. I'm fine. Just a tad bit of PTSD. That's all. But I would like to thank Moraine for at least pretending to hit on me. I appreciate that. It's very generous of you. I do appreciate it. Kenneth Robinson, sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. I made it through what I made it through, and it was a bad relationship, but it's over with. Hell, even the law says it's over with now. Little statute of limitations and all that, so. I moved on. I survived. And her now ex, he's out of there alive, and I'm happy to see he's okay, so. I have a topic changer. Pineapple on pizza. Blasphemy! Unless you're trying to torture somebody.
I normally get my pizza with pineapple, black olives, and onions.
Fuck you. Ew. Oh.
And it's true. I really do.
Ew. That's so disgusting. Okay, the only things that should go on pizza are cheese, sauce, obviously the crust, and you can put a pepperoni, hamburger, many different kinds of meats. And I will give maybe some spices, like maybe some peppers and stuff. That's it. For the people who put pineapple on pizza, people who make barbecue chicken pizza, all that shit. No. Fuck that shit. No. God damn. Yeah. I hate pineapple on pizza. I tried it one time. It's just, no. The flavors do not mix well. That's evil.
Well, the reason is because pineapple is very sweet. So that's why you need either the black olives or the onion. And I use both to counterbalance it.
Oh, no. Pepperoni pizza or extra cheese pizza for me all the way. Hell, I'll even do meat lovers. Meat lovers is great.
I can't have meat on my pizza.
Black olives. Ugh. I'd probably do black olives over pineapple, though.
Well, like I said, that's more of a balancing it, where black olives have a bolder and almost a saltier flavor. It counterbalances out the sweetness of the pineapple.
Moraine, you cannot beat the stereotypical American pizzas, okay? They may be stereotypical, but here's the thing. They're classic for a reason. Because they set the tone. They set the tone. They made the American Italian. They put them on the map. Oh god, the Italians are gonna want to kill me now. Oh my god. Of the man in cheese pizza? Have you heard of the man in cheese pizza? What the fuck is a man in cheese pizza?
This I'm not googling that one.
I love me some good meat too, Moraine. Just on pizza. Pineapple and ham pizza is the best. I'll do ham, but not pineapple. I don't like it. I don't hate it. Like, I'll play up that I hate it, for sure. But in reality, do I hate it? No, it's just, it's just not for me. Like, I love pineapple on other things. Like, if, like, we do, like, those, like fruit and veggie smorgasbord things. Love those. But I don't think it belongs on pizza. It just doesn't taste good. So it's pineapple and ham pizza. Okay. Yes, the American pizza is great. Yes, it is. Classic. The thing is, a lot of people are like, the Italians made pizza. No, Italian Americans made pizza. Thank you very much. I'm sure there was some variation of it in Italy before, but the popularized American pizza that we know today was holy shit. Ginger Ninja just, damn, man, thank you. 50, is that British pound sterling?
Yes.
Damn. Thanks, man. Awesome. Just sharing some positive vibes. Well, fuck, that's one way to do it. Damn. Do you want to be a moderator? Oh, good.
Praise be to you, mighty
thank
donator.
you so very much, man. Very much appreciated. I appreciate it quite a lot. That is awesome, man. Thank you. Oh, I think I missed Kenneth Robinson's earlier comment. Bacon improves everything. True. Bacon pizza, especially, there's a local pizza joint here in my home state. They used to go by Spanky's Pizza, but I think they're called something else now. If you ordered bacon pizza from them, I don't know what they do, but they get like these little, they have like no, like, you know the fat that's on pizza, bacon slices? Well, there's none of that. They just have, like, the raw, harder meat, and they have it in, like, little bits, and they spread it all across pizza. It's like, there's, like, a layer of cheese, but then there's a layer of bacon bits. So, you take a bite, you have to bite into it to find the cheese. And it's delicious!
I feel now would be a prudent time to remind you that I am Jewish. I don't eat bacon.
Well, I'm bragging that we do. The rest of us eat bacon. Thing is, why wouldn't, I don't get why, does the Jewish, like, why is it like, just like they're dirty or something?
Yes, they're considered unclean animals.
Okay, but doesn't fire purify things?
No, not in that sense. The animal as a whole is considered unclean. And by unclean, I don't mean like you wash it and it'll be fine. I mean like the animal itself is like pigs themselves are unclean animals. Kind of like someone's naturally a bad person. Not saying pigs are bad people. Pigs are amazing people. They get rid of bodies like you wouldn't believe. But pigs are just unclean animals. So it's one of those things where the rules for kashrut are they have to chew their own cud and have split hooves. And one of the reasons why pigs are especially notorious is because they do feel the split hoof. So they, just from a glance, they look like they're kosher. However, because they don't chew their own cud, they aren't. So they're almost considered, that's why they're the worst of the non-kosher animals, is because they're the only one that actually looks it, but they're not. Yes, I will stick by that still.
Okay. I'm just gonna nod my head. I don't understand it.
They're feetsies. Because their feetsies have the split hooves.
So is it any split hoof animal? Because I'm pretty sure cows have split hooves.
Okay, so here's the difference. You know how a cow will sit there, chew the grass, swallow it, regurgitate it, and chew it again?
Yeah.
Pigs don't do that.
Well, no, they consume it.
Right. So that's what makes the difference. Is that's called chewing your cud, and where cows do it, that means they are kosher. Where pigs don't, it makes them non-kosher.
Got it.
I can.
I don't understand. Okay. I don't. That's way over my head. I don't know. Oh my god. Marine says, "Purge the unclean in holy fire." I don't know. I'm not Jewish. I don't get it, but I'm not meant to. Oh God. I don't discriminate the animals I eat. Like, it's meat. Cook it. Even bear you can cook, even though it's nasty.
I love that Still pointed out. It's like pigs are better people because they eat people. Well, actually, yes.
Yeah. Finkron, as begun reaction is the best. I'm glad you find it hilarious. Marine's like, freedom! God damn it. Yeah, I love me some bacon. I could never be Jewish.
and I know the science behind cannibalism and why that's actually healthy. But
I'm not getting it. I'm not going there.
Yeah,
not going there.
I was like, but I'm not going to go down that road because that's
not going
really weird road.
I will. Marine says bear meat is nasty. The jerky isn't bad. If you jerky bear meat, it's not that bad. Because you like dry out everything, and yeah, it's not as bad as you make bear meat jerky. But if you're like cooking like a slab of bear meat, you have to be so fucking careful because it's so easy to make it taste nasty. It's so easy.
But I will say this:
such a hard to cook.
I wasn't always Jewish, so I have had bacon. It's just been years.
I could never go Jewish.
Actually, what's funny is before I went Jewish and went kind of kosher, I was vegetarian for like 2 years.
I couldn't do that either. I've grown up hunting my dinners before. I've grown up with that lifestyle. I've raised animals. I've butchered them. I've slaughtered them. I have cooked the same animals that I raised myself, and I've lived that life my entire life. Cannot picture letting go of meat. It's just not my thing.
Nathan actually got this one dead on. Isn't there a kosher law that says you can't eat meat and drink milk? Yes. You cannot eat meat and consume dairy at the same time. And depending on
there's a lot of weird dietary rules.
And actually, you want to know the really weird part about it, and I didn't know about this, is they've done studies and supposedly that eating kosher is healthier for you.
It probably is, but thing is, I don't get the people who are like, you should just go vegetarian or vegan for the health purposes. You'll live much longer. Yeah, but I'll hate life. Like, I don't want to live to 100 years if I hate all 100 of the years. It's like I live to be 100, but I hated every minute of it.
I think it has a lot to do with like the way your body breaks down everything because it doesn't break it down together. Don't hold me to this. I really don't. I don't know the science behind this one. But I think it's just because of the way you digest everything, that's what makes it healthier and easier on your body.
Yeah, they say veganism is the healthiest diet, which
I call bullshit.
I have no idea. But what I can say is it's not healthy for the mind. Do you know how many insane vegans I see all the time? Like every vegan I've ever met is not only preached at the fact that they're vegan, preached why eating meat is evil, but also they're kind of crazy. Like, I don't know what it is, but if you cut meat out of your diet, there's no science backing what I'm about to say, but I believe this. I believe it affects your mental state. Because every vegan I've ever seen or met is bad shit to a degree.
I will say, if you ever get the chance, you know who Tim Pool is, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Every weeknight at 8 p.m. he does Timcast IRL. It's him, his friend Adam, and their friend Lydia. Adam is a vegan, and he's not one of the crazy vegans. He's actually
one of the few non-crazy vegans.
Yeah,
it's a miracle.
But no, he's a very intelligent dude.
Yeah, Marine says it best because that's who I was thinking of. Vegan Gains. That guy's a psychopath. I think I told you about him before.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that when we were talking about leaky soy.
Yeah, he is a psychopath. Like, he talked about how his grandfather was having a heart attack in front of him.
Yeah.
Like, and that he was hoping he would die because it would teach some kind of lesson about how eating meat is dangerous. Like, you're... Okay, it's one thing to disagree about diet. There's another thing to hope your own grandfather dies because he eats meat.
I mean, it's just like...
That's my evidence, Your Honor. That's my evidence. Veganism causes mental disorder, causes mental deformation. Because they're all crazy. Everyone I've met, anyway.
my family, both sides, are rip strife with mental disorders. So I don't know, but none of them are vegan. So yeah. I don't know.
Fincarn says it's hard to get protein from fruits and vegetables for the vegan diet. It's true. Protein is most prevalent in meats. So thing is, a lot of protein shakes as well. They have they get the protein from like processed meats or beans. And the thing is, I don't know if veganism allows beans. I believe it does. I know vegetarianism does. But I don't know about veganism. Veganism, the rules are really weird to me.
Would you like to hear, speaking of vegetarian, would you like to hear one of my funny vegetarian stories that brings shame to me?
What?
So you know the foot-long subs at Subway?
Yes.
I would get one of those when I worked in a window manufacturing plant. We would have a 30-minute lunch. So I would get one of those, 2 cookies and a drink. It would take me about 10 minutes to go there, get the order, and about another 5 to get back to the plant. And in the course of about 5 minutes, I would eat my sub, and they would always be mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, green pepper, cucumber, black olive, and can't remember what the last one was, but I had like one more thing on it. So it would essentially be a salad sub that would be stacked like this damn big. And I would down that thing in like 5 minutes. A whole foot-long sub.
Damn.
Plus 2 cookies and a drink. And people looked at me like I was weird. For some strange reason.
So... Yeah. Marine says, I was once on a stream of Vegan Gains, and I said to him, I would kill for a steak right now. I enjoyed his mental breakdown. It's not hard to make that man lose his mind. Is he still active on, social media? I thought he hopped off for a while because people were catching on to his psychosis.
I was thinking about fucking with the guy who got you an arch, but I decided not to.
You mean Sunsoul?
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name is. That's how unimportant it is to me. It's like I don't care.
It was a shitty stream and a shitty interview. It was just bad. The guy.
Oh no, I was there's the thing about fucking with him for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not that.
Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. At least he was willing to talk, but I don't know. It was definitely the worst interview one could participate in for sure. Especially when, again, he initially invited me, but I was chopped liver when Arch was there. Like, even when Arch left, didn't seem like he wanted to engage my existence whatsoever. So yeah, that was just a shitty interview. His points were illogical. He didn't take any effort to understand our side of things, and he brought in politics within seconds of the stream. That's when I found out he was a political commentator. Was that very second? I had no clue beforehand. Like, there was no warning, like, oh, by the way, I'm going to bring up politics, not just the gaming sphere. It's like, well, fuck you. Oh, that was just a bad experience, though. The Gladv says, I don't like to buy sandwiches. I like to know what I get in my sandwich. I like making my own sandwiches, for the most part. I like egg salad. Egg salad's very good. I like BLTs, minus the tomato. Not that I don't like tomato, it's just I always seem to get the most juiciest tomato. Like the one where you bite into it and it's like taking a drink of a cup of water. It's like, Jesus Christ. Lotus?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm taking care of other stuff at the same time. I'm trying not to be rude about it. It's just I'm multitasking like a motherfucker. I really am.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I lost you though for a minute. I was like, oh, what the hell? Lotus, come back to me. But yeah, that's how long did we get? Like, the thing is, I think the podcast like reports were as long as our conversations have been, because we're streaming for 2 hours, and I think we finished talking about the last topic at like the 1 hour mark. So I think we've been talking longer, just casually.
I mean, yeah, but we've also been talking with the chat, so
yeah, it's been good. It's been good. This was fun though. About the eggs, just as long as they don't overdo it with salad dressings. Yeah, that's true. The homemade egg salad I make is pretty good. I don't go too heavy on the mayonnaise. You got to be very careful about how you do that. But assuming, you do it right, it should taste delicious. Also, add a little bit of paprika. Just some advice. Just a little bit of paprika. Not a lot. You don't need to, like, douse it in paprika. But, like, a couple dabs. Not that kind of dab. You deserve,
I feel really dirty for doing that.
You deserve to go to the executioner's block. That was blasphemy.
I feel
blasphemy.
Really dirty for doing that. But I couldn't help it as soon as you said that. I was like, oh, this will be good. This will be good. This will be good. Oh, damn it! I feel dirty.
You evil son of a bitch. I have a confession. I hate mayonnaise. You hate mayonnaise? How do you hate mayonnaise?
I hated mayonnaise up until about the time I was 20. So I hate it for, like I said, I hate it for the first 20 years of my life, and now I enjoy it. So.
I don't know. I can't imagine, because the thing is, I've learned to make a lot of food myself. Like, I know how to make homemade fried chicken. I know how to cook steak, burgers, make homemade pasta. I've had to cook a lot of my own food over the years. It's one upside with living out in the countryside is we have a grocery store nearby, but not a lot of restaurants. So I've learned how to make a lot of my own food. And mayonnaise, vinegar, salt, pepper. These things are involved in a lot of the foods I've made.
Fuck you, and you too.
What?
I hate vinegar. I fucking loathe vinegar.
It's really useful for a lot of dishes, and you don't notice it in certain ones.
It's useful for throwing it in the garbage. It's useful for basketball practice with the garbage can.
How dare you?
I hate.
Jorge says, will we see more Void Ship design vids in the future? Oh, you mean like the 3D modeling vid I put up? Probably. I gotta justify the expense I'm putting into the 3D software for right now, because as it is, I'm still conceptualizing things in the 2D side. So I might like end my subscription for a month or so until I'm actually ready to do the 3D model designs. But that could also, making videos about it could also justify the expense for a little bit. But yeah, probably the design I did was still a 40K design. If you're talking about like original designs for my own universe, we're working on that still at the moment. Me and my one writer, we're still also writing the rest of the Xenos races. The only thing we've 100% got down thoroughly through and through, as I said in yesterday's stream, is the sovereignty of mankind. That's the only thing that's completely done and set in stone, more or less. The only things at this point we're changing about it are some different individual worlds and stories, but the outline is done. Ascon, are you familiar with Madame Chanette? The yellow one is hot. Madame Chanette.
I think that's a type of hot sauce, but I have no clue what the hell she's talking about.
I need a visual. Madame, was it Vachette?
Chanette.
Madame Chanette. I need a visual. Sounds familiar. Do you mean Chanette as in J-E-A, like not Chanette, Jeanette? Ah, Madame Jeanette, the yellow pepper. It's more commonly known as Suriname yellow. But yeah, if you use a little bit of Madame Jeanette in certain foods, it's delicious. That is true. That is very true. As long as you don't abuse it. That's the same with most peppers in particular. Don't abuse. Like, I know people who are like, oh, I got this pepper, but it's really small, but I'll cut it up and put the whole thing in. It's like, no! No one will be able to eat it! And I watch as people cook food like that, and it just drives me insane. It's like, no, that is way too much pepper. That is way too much.
If you can't handle the spice, get out of the fucking kitchen!
Well, the thing is, it's not about handling the spice. You can handle it, but it's about the people you're gonna feed it to. Can they handle it? And the common person is not gonna be able to eat a whole fucking pepper. I don't care if it's a California Reaper or if it's a common everyday green pepper.
Oh, speaking of, I'm gonna send you a YouTube video that you're gonna love. It's people trying like the Death Nut Challenge. And the last one has 13 million Scoville capsaicin crystals on it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Moraine says, that's how we spell it in the Netherlands. You spell it Shanette. Well, it's spelled, at least here, Jeannette.
Almost like a French.
I don't know if it is French. Origin Suriname, which is in South America. So,
if I'm not mistaken, doesn't some parts of South America have a French influence?
Part of it, yeah. South America did. Thing is, Spain got Mexico thoroughly. But I think some of the other South American... Excuse me. A lot of the South American countries, I think, had French influences. I think, because the thing is, even when you look at the map with Suriname, yeah, right next to it is French Guyana. So this does look like this was a bunch of French colonies. So yeah, that'd explain the name Madame Jeanette. That would explain that. So its Scoville scale is 100,000 to 350,000 SHU.
Rookie numbers.
That is pretty rookie numbers compared to the really bad ones. I love how the heat, though, descriptor on Google is very hot. Yeah, that's why you don't. That's why you don't eat a whole pepper, though. Like the people who do the eating challenges of like eating like the whole fucking. When I see people do those eating challenges where they eat a whole fucking California Reaper, I'm like, I hope you die.
Wait, you mean Carolina Reaper?
Carolina Reaper, yeah. I don't know why I keep saying California. Yeah, the Carolina Reaper. Just
because it's hot and it's a state that sucks almost as eating just one of those damn peppers.
Well, for me, it's like a waste. Like, you do realize how many meals you can cook up with one Carolina Reaper? You just need like a single sliver from the side. That's all you need for a whole meal for like 4 people. If you mix it in with stuff. Yet I see people eat one of these things whole. I'm like, that's a waste of a Reaper. You know how many meals you could have mixed that in with? Do you have any idea? No, you don't, because you're retarded. Drives me nuts.
I couldn't imagine a 13 million peanut coated in Carolina Reaper, it's something scorpion pepper, and 13 million Scoville capsaicin crystals. I would be so afraid of bathrooms because I would literally be afraid that I would melt a toilet.
Fincarn says, you clearly have not come to Mexico if you think people can... Well, I'm talking about, like, the standard American. Sorry. I don't mean, like, everybody around the world. There are certain cultures that definitely have a lot more spices and a lot more of the spice in the meals, especially Mexico. So with that in mind, obviously, yes, if I were in Mexico, hell, I'd throw a whole fucking 2 peppers in the meal. But I'm talking, like, the milquetoast standard white person here in the U.S. Like my family, half my family really love it hot. The other half, you can't throw half a pepper in there. They'll lose their minds. So it depends on who I'd be cooking for.
I love that super chat. It's gonna kill me.
I've eaten a Reaper before. My ass has
Praise
PTSD.
be to you, mighty donator.
That's nice. I've eaten a Reaper before. My ass has PTSD now.
The good news is that did the same thing for my lungs that eating one of those damn peppers would.
Oh my god. I am the whitest man when it comes to spice, Portrait Seal says. Me, I like spice, but I don't love more spice than the base food I'm eating. Like, if I'm eating a spicy food, like, when I cook up, like, tacos, I'll mix in spices into pretty much everything. The chimichangas, the taco blends, when I mix in spices, I definitely like to go a little more ham. Like, I put hot sauce on it on top of spiced up burger meat. And it's still delicious.
If you ever want to do a jackass-like prank involving food, make a pizza. Instead of the tomato sauce, use
this is a common strategy. I've done it.
And then put like Carolina, like little strips of Carolina Reaper on there, or something like that. Oh my god! I can promise you, if I were your friend, you wouldn't wake up ever after that, because I would murder someone for doing that shit.
Is he dead? Yep. How'd he die? He consumed too much spice.
Oh no! I mean, like, if someone actually pulled that prank on me, I would murder them at that point. I'd be like, oh, good. When I can finally breathe again, finally use a toilet without being afraid of welding it to the damn floor, I'm gonna murder you.
Oh god, that's good. God damn it. Holy shit. Marine says, I love me some hot foof, and I'm not talking about real food. My kind of gal. You can actually kill someone through shock. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's happened numerous occasions. All right, we've been going for about 2.5 hours now, so I think we can call it here.
Okie dokie.
All right. Hope everybody enjoyed the podcast today. I had a lot of fun. Definitely a good reprieve from having my power outage. So that was nice. The sad part is I'm probably not going to get that video about today's the Attack of the Necron book. Which, by the way, I couldn't keep reading the pages. It's that bad. I had to listen. I have to listen to David Tennant say it. Like, I have to listen to the audiobook. Because I cannot read it. Because if I read it, it's just like, I'm fucking done. But I'm almost done listening to him read it. I'm going to make a full video just going over the whole book.
Why are you torturing yourself that way?
It's good. It gets views. That's the short answer. It'll get views.
I mean, go on stream and let a mousetrap smack down on your testicles, and you're doing the same thing.
Yep, pretty much. Marine says 2.5 hours rookie time. Well, typically I go for 4.5 or 5 with some of the gaming streams, but for the podcast, I think it's nicer to keep it a little shorter.
Yeah,
that way it's more inviting for people to rewatch the
the interesting stuff we get into.
Yeah, the playback. If you make it too long, people don't usually. The average person won't sit there for like 4 hours watching the whole thing. But if you keep it more concise and a little bit shorter, usually between 1 to 2.5 hours, somewhere in there, most people will sit there and watch it since it's basically the length of the movie. And sometimes they'll watch the first bit of it, and if they lose interest, they'll bow out. But at least people will give it a chance if it's within a certain, basically the length of a movie. They'll give it a chance. But if it's 5-6 hours, people usually bow out without even watching it.
Nah.
So, yeah. It's called masochism, as begun. I suppose. Is that book at least good as a kid's sci-fi fantasy book, or is it okay for kids? I'll tell you this: I would not hate this book thoroughly if it were not for the setting. I would not hate it, but because of the setting, I hate every minute of it.
I will say though, to be fair, I do prefer audiobooks to reading it myself now, though.
Yeah,
but that's mostly
the
because
audio makes it a lot better. When you hear the 10th Doctor describe it, it's a lot better.
Well, for me, it's more of because I usually listen to it while I'm working on like a script or something. It's like The Flight of the Eisenstein is a really good example. I love the guy who I can't think of who it is.
Have you listened to the audiobook of Hell's Reach?
I have not.
Oh, do it. Do yourself that favor.
I have to get the audiobook of Hell's Reach.
It's on Audible. If you have one of the credits, because I got like 9 credits or something like that, which is basically how you buy audiobooks for free. Mm-hmm. If you have any credits, it's worth 1, I believe. You just gotta. I don't know what the dollar price is. I got it for credits, but it's
the way I got all mine. The way I got all mine was from Humble Bundle.
Trust me, it's worth the listen. I'm not even all the way through, and I'm like, oh, this voice is so sensual.
I did get like 25 books for like $18, so I can't really complain.
Nice.
And I got the first 6 books in the Horus Heresy, and the first one alone is like the audiobook for it is like $25-$30. So
yeah, a lot of the Horus Heresy books are wicked expensive. And that's even audiobook or book form. I like physical books if I actually enjoy reading them, but audiobooks are good if you're working on miniatures, which is when the power went out last night, our generator kicked on when I activated it and fueled it up. So we could have power, so I could have lights. And I unplugged everything else because it's not very clean energy. But I set up my painting set and began painting my miniatures. The thing is, I'm probably gonna get shit for it, but I have like Black Templar Mark III armor. Is what I'm doing with gold shreds.
Right. I mean, I don't have any miniatures, and even if I did, mine would mostly be like Thousand Suns, so I'm not going to give you shit for like in Black Templar.
Yeah, I do Black Templar primarily. But I'm gonna get shit like lore wise because typically they don't have gold shreds. It's white and black is their primary colors. But fuck you, they're mine. I'll add the stylization I fucking want, bitch.
No, and this is something that I've said multiple times. Like, you paid the money for them. If you want to paint them whatever you want, go for it. They're yours to do with what you please.
Yeah. Meme Gene 69 Azragon, how you describe the book, it sounds like heresy. Again, this is what I stand by. So far, anyway. It's a standard of fare kid story. You know, kids get separated from the mom or the parental figures. They have one adult figure with them, but he's basically useless. It's a standard like, oh, kids, take control and go on an adventure story. The thing is, it wouldn't piss me off even remotely if it weren't for the goddamn knowledge that it's 40K. Like, a lot of things that occur during the story do not make a lick of, like, here's one example. I read this, and this is where I stopped reading the book, started listening to David Tennant read it to me. I stopped where basically, and this is in like the first couple chapters, but what happens is they're on a hive world, an alarm goes off for invasion, and it's the Necrons. The main character, and by the way, get this, the name of this, one of the other kids is a 12-year-old Admech from the Mechanicus on Mars. His name is Meki. That's self-explanatory.
I mean, at least
I don't need to go into more detail than that.
But you know what? I will give them a little bit of credit. At least 8 to 12 years is the appropriate age for them to start becoming Astartes.
None of the characters are Astartes.
But let me at least have that.
Nope, none of them. None of them. Not a single one of them. The main characters are like this. It's a girl named Zelia. She's the first character we're following. She is just she's her mom's an archaeologist, and so is her mom's partner, and Meki is her mom's assistant. And then there's this other kid named Talon. Get this. His dad is an Imperial Guardsman. And his dad wanted him to be an Imperial Guardsman like his older brother and himself. And he shared dark stories of... Here's the thing. The book describes this as a negative. Like, oh, my dad didn't sugarcoat anything for us. He just told us the truth about how dark the universe is and how horrible Xenos are. And I'm like...
40K.
Like, yeah. Like, why is the book making this sound like this is ununique? Or like this is unique? Or... You kidding me? What?
I mean, let's talk about another child from an Imperial Guard. It wasn't his father. I believe it was his grandfather. Sebastian Yarick. His family. I believe it was his grandfather was an Imperial Guard veteran, and he ended up dying from, I believe, orcs.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's around to tell you, hey, it sucks ass.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's described, and the thing is, and he's like, oh, and then I ran away. Wait, what? Like, you ran away because your brother's an Imperial Guardsman and your dad was one, and he didn't sugarcoat the universe for you? What? What am I missing? Like, you live in 40K. Like, the book is trying to make this sound like, oh, it makes perfect sense why he would run away. No? Like, I'm pretty sure 99.99% of the children of the Imperial Guard probably have the exact same experience.
Please tell me, are any of them psychers?
Out of the characters I've met so far, no. No characters are psychers.
Damn, that would have been funny.
No psychers so far. But the part that made me stop reading the book and I had to listen to it was, so Zelia and her mom, Elise, and the archaeologist that's working with them, and the Mechanicus kid are all trying to escape the archaeological dig site and make it to the starport to escape with the refugees. But a bunch of Necron scarabs and Necron soldiers are barreling down on them, and their vehicle's not working. Standard affair you would imagine in a cartoon, like, stressful moment, like, we gotta get the vehicle working, oh, they're coming, and then it works, like, last second and they escape. Well, right before the scarabs attack, an Astartes drop pod drops right between their vehicle and the incoming scarabs. It just crash lands. Boom! It's down, and Ultramarines pop out. Now, this is what pissed me off. An Ultramarine turned away from the enemy scarabs and Necrons to walk towards the human civilians and to tell them, hey, you need to get out of here. And then he turns back to combat and enters fighting. Let me ask you this. Other than the Salamanders, would any fucking chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, any battle brother, waste half a fucking second to warn 5 random civilians to run away, turning his back to the incoming enemy?
Yes, I can think of one situation. And you're going to love it because it's a Black Templar. Reclusiar Grimaldus.
A civilian.
No, here's my logic here. Follow me. He wouldn't turn to them and tell them they need to get out of here, but as soon as he landed, he's like, I'm gonna kill every fucking thing in the area. They would just run. By the way, Reclusiar Grimaldus is my favorite Black Templar. I love him.
I don't believe for a second any Astartes, other than Salamanders, would waste half a second warning civilians to run. As soon as that Astartes dropped out, that Ultramarine popped out of that fucking pod, he should have entered combat.
Oh, no. I agree with you 100%.
No Astartes, other than a Salamander, would waste any seconds trying to get civilians to safety. Every Astartes known in history has lived through hundreds of years of... Well, not all of them. Plenty die early on. But many Battle Brothers live at least 50, 60 years watching countless, not only of their brothers die, but humans die. To them, it's every day. It's like watching the weather or seeing if it's a little rainy today. To them, it's nothing. A group of civilians, especially a small group, they wouldn't give two shits. An Astartes isn't gonna drop out of his pod, turn away from the enemy, to waste 5 seconds warning them to run, and then turn back to battle. I nearly threw the book. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like they're trying to portray them as like all these big, bold warriors and heroes. No, they would have been like, civilians, leave them. They're dead anyway. If there's too stupid to run, they're fucked. That's the mentality.
They're literal brainwashed children super soldiers.
They would not have wasted 10 seconds to warn civilians to run. It's just not a thing they would do. A salamander, I could believe it easily. An ultramarine? No. A Black Templar? Fuck no. Any other chapter than salamander? No. If they want it, why the hell are they ultramarines in this book? Thing is, if they're going for kid-friendly, they really should have... I get it, that the fucking ultramarines are the poster boys.
That's why.
Why the fuck? Because if you're going to portray them as caring enough about civilians to even warn them to run, you cannot use ultramarines. You cannot use any other chapter, really, but salamanders. They're the only chapter that give a shit. I don't think Dark Angels either would turn around and warn a group of 5 civilians. No.
No, they would murder the civilians.
It'd be like, they're in the way. Pfft, done.
They'd be like, no. They'd land, kill all the scarabs. They know too much.
It would have been a waste. It makes no sense. And that for me, that should really set the tone. They're really portraying. The thing is, they use all the terminology, a lot of terminology we know in the universe, like servo sprites, or we're talking about the central cogitators. They use all the terminology, really trying to say how this is a 40K book. No, it's not. You can use all the terminology in the fucking universe, but bullshit. Are you going to convince me that this is anything more than just it's a mockery of 40K? Really?
And by the way, Fed Karn, I was joking about Grimaldi. I do think, however, that Grimaldi's landing and yelling like he does at the enemy would encourage anyone within about a mile's radius to go as far the fuck away from him as possible. Okay, Jorge did bring up a good point while I was saying that the Flesh Terrors would help the cities.
Yeah, define help. It's just it pisses me off as I continue to read it. I'm almost all the way through. Once I am, thing is, the first part of the video is going to be my initial attempt to read through it, and then I just couldn't keep going. So there's going to be a random cutoff where I'm just going to start, like, I'm going to be in different clothes. It's going to be a different day, which is today, where I'm just going to be basically giving my full thoughts about the book, and I'm going to be laying into it hard. It's almost like 2 videos in one.
It's gonna be like, it's gonna get to the point, wait a minute, a fucking ultramarine, it's gonna cut to you to today, and it's gonna be like, it's...
Nah, I'm gonna cut it off way earlier. I'm gonna cut it off way earlier, because before I even got to that moment, I was starting to lose energy while reading it, because it was sapping the life out of me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the thing is, when I got to the table of contents, it's got 2 fucking things on the table of contents. It's got, I get to contents, it's Attack of the Necron, Galactic Compendium. Wow, you really need to put that in contents, huh? And it's just, it's a nightmare. I fucking hated every minute of reading this thing.
Curious why they picked the fucking Necron.
I don't know. Apparently, there's a book for each race too. There's Necron, there's Tau, there's in the back of the book. I shit you not. They advertise a Gene Stealer book. It's apparently part 2 of this story. It's apparently part 2 of this same group of characters. Apparently, they survive an encounter with the Necrons, and they're unlucky enough to encounter the claws of the Gene Stealers.
You know who would be the best, quote-unquote, enemy Xenos for a kid's book? Eldar.
Eldar? The sex-crazed fiends of hell.
No, not Dark Eldar, just regular Eldar.
The Craftworld Eldars are extremely racist to humans and hate them.
Okay, but who else are you gonna fucking pick? The orcs? I mean, as far as
that's the thing. There's no race that works. None. There aren't one. They'd have to come up with a race to work with this.
That's the thing, though. I'm not saying any of them would work. I'm just saying, out of like all my thinking, that would be like the best choice.
It really isn't the best choice. And the thing is, as I read through it, I know why a lot of people are trying to defend this book. They're like, "Oh, it's a grimdark book for kids." No, not really. No. Like the thing is, I'm in the first couple, I'm in the halfway point of the book, and for the first half of the book, if I just describe the events in broad strokes, it does sound like a 40K story. A kid gets attacked by raiders at the beginning of the book when they wake up on their home ship. Oh, as the story progresses, the planets get invaded by Necrons and Imperial Guardsmen are disintegrated in front of one of these kids' eyes. Oh, the kids get off planet, but they watch as the planet turns to magma, cracks, and blows up. Oh, all horrifying events. But if you actually read the events, the kids have no true reaction to any of these events. They go into more detail about how one of the characters has space sickness because he's never been in space before than they do about the planet blowing up.
I have found my new favorite idea, and I will get this book just for the lols.
Yeah, they don't even go into detail about how the kids feel about a planet blowing up in front of their eyes.
Syl said there's an Orc, Gene Stealer, Tau, and Necron book, and a Nurgle book is incoming.
Oh,
I can't wait for the Nurgle book.
If they're gonna cover Nurgle, that means they gotta cover Slaanesh, they gotta cover Khorne.
I don't think they're gonna do Slaanesh. I don't.
There's no way they can. But if they're gonna do a Nurgle book, people are gonna ask about the other three. I dare them to try and cover Slaanesh. Hell, I'm impressed that the first book of this whole series is apparently Necrons. Are you kidding me?
But so I covered this in one of the 2 videos I recorded this past week for Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr. So Nurgle followers and demons tend to be really, really joyous and boisterous. And one of the last enemies you fight is the Prophet of Nurgle, a Plague Marine. And oh my god, I love him just based on dialogue alone. They got his dialogue just right, and I love it. So if they can do that and put it in a children's book, I don't fucking care. I will read it and I will laugh. If they can get that right, if they can get the mentality of the Nurgleites, I will love it because that's how they really are.
Based on this book, I don't trust them to... No.
Oh, no,
halfway through. But the thing is, I've already had spoiled for me that one of the main characters dies. I think I know who, based on, the main character cast. It's none of the kids. And by the way, the point I just got at is they now have an animal sidekick.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm not shitting you. They just landed on a planet, and listen, again, if you describe the events in broad strokes, it sounds like a Grimdark, but it's the way they handle everything that makes it such a pitiful fuck you to Grimdarks. Because the thing is, the Necrons followed them after they escaped the planet. They land, and their spaceship is under attack. By the way, they did a warp jump. They were in the warp, and they don't describe it. The closest they get to approaching describing it is they're like, "Oh, you could get warp sickness," and they play it off as a joke. They play it off as a joke that, "Oh, if you get a warp sickness, your brain might melt." But that's the most they say. Hell, one of the kids even asks, "What is the warp?" And they say, "Oh, it's a different dimension." That's the most they go into. And then later, when they get out of the warp and the ship is about to, and once the Necrons have followed them and the ship is about to go back into the warp to escape again, they say, "Oh, let's head for escape pods. Let's not jump through the warp again." And they ask the older character why, the only adult in the situation, and he says, "Oh, I don't even know."
Captain UFO says, "I want to see Slaanesh babysit the kids now."
Right.
You remember how we were talking about anime at the beginning of this? That's how I see that ending.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's this. Just reading it, and the thing is, again, these are all moments I want to throw this book. The thing is, when you're listening to it, I don't want to throw my phone. But as David Tennant said that though, as the character says, "Oh, why don't you want to go back in the warp?" The kids ask, and the guy goes, well, there's other issues, like there's other things to be afraid of in the warp, and they're like, what? And he was like, oh, I don't even know. What? Like every adult in 40K ought to know about the chaos.
Fucking 30K.
Like, hello.
I mean, now in 30K, that was actually kind of true. That humanity didn't know that much about chaos in the warp.
Well, yeah, but that's because the Emperor kept it secret. But after the Horus Heresy, it became pretty much common.
That's because the Emperor's a cock-gobbling little shit.
To a degree, yeah.
That was probably his worst decision, was keeping the warp hidden, at least from the Primarchs.
Yeah, I think that was a stupid decision as well. But yeah, reading this book is painful, but I'm almost all the way through. Once I am, I can finish this video and upload it. And if I get a ton of dislikes from the people who, for some reason, think this book does justice to 40K for kids, it doesn't. Because the thing is, you can't do justice to 40K and still make it for kids. Like that's just simply impossible, and that's only proven right as I listen to this.
Okay, I just got a brilliant idea. Jorge said, I think anime 40K might work. Some anime companies can make good grimdark anime. Imagine an anime that follows Karn the Betrayer. He just has different levels of pissed off that work like the Saiyan levels from Dragon Ball.
It's over 9,000!
and like every time he gets more and more pissed, the horns on his helmet grow.
Marine says the Emperor is a goddamn vegetable. So
technically, he's not.
Technically, I mean, his mind's still there. That's like the only thing that is. His body is virtually decrepit and decayed.
There's an actual condition, I can't think of what it is, but it's essentially like where your entire body is paralyzed, but you have full mental faculties. That's kind of like what he has. Slanesh for kids, Pleasure Island from Pinocchio. I mean, it's not wrong.
Oh my god. Jorge says, sorry, blame Erda. Oh, we're not getting into that again. No. I've already gotten into that 5, 7, 8 times. I'm good. No more suffering. Alright. Now, let's end the stream. Okay. Thanks so much for coming in, everybody. Thank you, Ludus, for always being such a great co-host. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and a happy early birthday, and I'll see you the 10th for your official birthday stream. I think that's everything. Yep, and thanks so much for everybody who joined the stream. I hope all of you had a lot of fun. If you did, please let us know right before we close out. I'll still be watching the chat as soon as the stream officially ends. You guys will have, like, I think a solid 2-3 minutes before, you know, the chat stops. But you can, you know, leave your, like, yeah, I enjoyed it, this is my favorite part, or, you know, that kind of thing. Feel free. Marine, thank you for hitting on me. I appreciate it. Finkarn, thank you as always. Murderous Kitten, thank you as always. Jorge, you are also a pleasure to have. Meme Gene, also. Sil, pleasure. Nathan, how can I forget you? Nathan X2000, you were fantastic. You were very generous today. Very much appreciate it. It was beyond anything I'd expect. Jinja Ninja, you were also incredibly generous. Very much appreciate it. Kibbs, if you watch this later, you were also awesome. Thank you so much, man. I just appreciate having you. Grim Dwarf, you were also good to have here. Captain UFO, all y'all beautiful sons of bitches. You're all beautiful and amazing people. Love you all, and we'll see you guys. Ball, same to you. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Yep.
Y'all have a good one.
Stream is